Well, it's a fall evening in Connecticut, and that means that Mother Nature has something to say about all events. The leaves are changing, the wind is howling, and the rain is falling on the campus of Fitch High School. You're listening to Game Day, live on theday.com. Casey O'Neill, along with the sports doctor Keith O'Brien. We are here at Fitch High School, and the sports doctor, it's wet outside.
Yeah, it's wet and it's a little cold. Certainly fall has paid a visit to southeastern Connecticut in a big way, Casey. And an interesting matchup here tonight. The 2-0 Waterford Lancers coming on the road to take on the 1-2 Fitch Falcons. Fitch coming off of a bad loss last week to the NFA Wildcats. And again, Waterford riding high at 2-0. Could be the surprise of the league thus far in the ECC.
Yeah, the Waterford High School Lancers are certainly a surprise at this point, undefeated, led by the very confident Spencer Hoagland. But it's all really a matter of circumstance right now. You know, who you play in the early going. You know, Fitch should probably be 2-1 right now, having lost that game to Westerly that they should not have lost. And then they played an NFA team that was very, very good. Waterford, on the other hand, 2 winnable games, and to their credit, they've won them both. But the last time a Waterford team 3-0, it's been quite some time, and this team poised to do so.
Yeah, and they've had a good week of practice, very spirited practice. Spencer Hoagland now is the senior leader and quarterback for this Waterford Lancer team. And, you know, he could do a little bit of everything. We know about his quarterbacking passing skills. He's also a kicker. So, you know, Waterford's got things going in the right direction, some skilled people, and they've got a good feeling about themselves here tonight.
And Waterford will receive the opening kickoff, having just won the toss. So, Sports Doctor, tell us a little bit about what we should look for in the keys tonight's game.
Well, I mean, first of all, both coaches said, you know, the weather won't stop them from doing what they want to do offensively. You know, Waterford, you're going to see 60% pass, you know, a 60% run, Casey, 40% pass. They're going to do their thing. For the Fitch Falcons, you're going to see a lot of option football tonight. They're going to run. One of their biggest problems last week against NFA was turnovers. Take care of the ball tonight if you're the Fitch Falcons.
Ladies and gentlemen, we will have the game shortly, but right now, the honoring of America with our national anthem.
Your national anthem, ladies and gentlemen, just about ready time for football kickoff here at a chilly, raw fall, late September evening here at Fitch High School in Groton, Connecticut. The Fitch Falcons playing host, the 1-2 Fitch Falcons playing host to the 2-0 Waterford Lancers. And Fitch comes out today, coming off of a loss, Casey, last week to the NFA Wildcats. And Waterford comes in here riding high at 2-0. The officials are greeting at the middle of the field, just about time for kickoff. The Fitch Falcons will be dressed head to toe in your beloved black uniforms with a collage of numbers there, the red and the black, which you will not be able to see. Waterford Lancers dressed head to toe in the road white, Casey, and they will receive. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the voice of Game Day, my good friend, Mr. Casey O'Neill.
Thank you very much, Sports Doctor. And I love so many things about Fitch. I love the town of Groton. I love head coach Mike Ellis. I love PA announcer Leo Ficini.
Great guys.
I don't love the uniforms. They are impossible to tell. But what I do know is that sophomore quarterback Tyler Nelly is also the kicker. So he will be kicking off going left to right. And a very dangerous return man, Devin Craig, stands back at his own 10-yard line.
Yeah, field right now in really, really good shape. We'll see how that wears and tears a little bit towards the middle of the end of the game, Casey. But right now, we're ready to roll for high school Friday Night Football.
Kyle Cardoza also back deep for the Lancers, but Craig, the main return man. Nelly from his own 40 with a squib kick, bouncing on the ground, taken on a knee by Waterford at their own 35-yard line. That was taken by Jake Romano, one of the upman, and Romano, son of the great Jimmy Romano, falls down on the 35-yard line, and that's where Waterford will have its first possession.
You'll see a lot of spread formation tonight from the Waterford Lancers. Again, senior quarterback Spencer Hoagland at the helm. He can do it all. He can run it a lot. He can pass it a little. And he can certainly kick it a mile as well if need be.
Well, Craig and Cardoza split left. Hoagland will operate out of the shotgun. Hoagland straight snap. Fakes in the flat. Now goes deep for Craig. Craig wide open down the sideline. He's got it at the 40 and falls down. Devin Craig beat his man down the sideline for a big gain that time on a hitch and go. And if it wasn't for the wet turf, I think he would have caught it and gone all the way.
9 men in the box that time on the first defensive possession for the Falcons. Hoagland, like you said, a little pump and run and a nice connection. Good for about 35 yards. First and 10 Lancers.
Again, Waterford hurries it up. This time, Hoagland hands the ball off to Luke Bars. Bars gets off a right tackle, bounces it outside. Nice gain by Bars on first down, about 6 yards.
Yeah, very nice pace so far to this game to open it up for the Waterford Lancer offense. Big crack downfield, a little read option that time by Spencer Hoagland. Fitch defense early going, a little bit on their heels, Casey.
Yeah, Devin Craig, big weapon on the first play. Luke Bars, tough inside running. Craig and Cardoza left, Anna Bellini right. Hoagland from the shotgun. Fakes the Bars, keeps it himself, spins, first down in the open field, and he's going to go all the way for a touchdown. Spencer Hoagland.
3 plays, no problem. Third time's a charm. Spencer Hoagland, like I said, he can do it all with his arm, with his feet, with his leg. A nice job that time on the read option, and Fitch caught flat-footed on the opening possession defensively.
2 big plays, the last of which was Hoagland on the quarterback keeper. You know, he used to seeing him do it with his legs as a kicker. That time, with his legs as a runner, and an impressive burst by Hoagland.
Well, that's what you have as senior quarterback. He is cool, he is confident, he's a little bit cocky, and he's not afraid to go on the road and make plays as he lines up for the extra point.
Snap is high, but Hoagland confidently bangs it through, and it is good. And with 11 minutes left, that's only 1 minute into the game, Waterford on 3 plays, up 7-0 in what has to be sort of a haymaker landed under the chin of the Fitch Falcons.
And just like that for the Lancers, they get off the bus, 3 plays, a pass, 2 runs, 6 points. And right now, Fitch is in just a little bit of a shell-shocked down there on the sidelines, Casey. It's real hard to read their body languages, but they look shell-shocked down there.
Yeah, the Falcons definitely could not have drawn it up any worse. And on the flip side of things, the Lancers have to be feeling good. Now, Sports Doctor, see they'll get Lancers uniforms? They're crisp, they're white, the numbers are easy to read.
Clean.
We like that. We like easy-to-read numbers. They will kick off. Now, Hoagland, the big kicker, and I don't know about anything else, but this kid can kick in college. I'm telling you right now, if I were a college recruiter, I don't know if this kid could play other things, although that play right there makes me think he's an athlete. But this kid can kick in college.
50-yard field goal is, reportedly a 62-yard field goal. That is NFL-style kicking right there. And very good athlete.
Yeah, and routinely bangs kickoffs into the end zone. So
Stat Guru's nodding his head next to me. He is on board with Spencer Hoagland.
Hoagland will kick the ball off from his own 40. Mojica back deep for the Falcons, and Hoagland, high spiraling kick, drives and bounces into the end zone where it will be a touchback. Mojica was back, let it bounce, it went into the end zone, and the Falcons will have their first possession, 1st and 10 from their own 20-yard line.
And we're going to see that Fitch Falcon offense, Casey. They're going to feature the option. And again, turnovers were the issue last week against NFA. They got down early against a very good NFA Wildcat team. And, just got to take care of the ball. You know what? Got to right the ship here a little bit. The game, like you said, they got hit with a haymaker early. Let's see how they respond.
Tyler Nelly, the ever-improving Tyler Nelly, will be under center for the Falcons. A couple new names that you'll hear will be Hamir Stevens and Tyler Andrews in the early going. Pitch out to Hamir Stevens. And he is wrapped up immediately by the secondary of Waterford. Flying up that time was August Stewart to wrap him up for almost no gain, and let's call it a loss of maybe a yard.
Coach John Strecker last night in his weekly conference call with us, stay disciplined on the assignment football. Don't try and do too much as an individual. Stay in your lanes. Very difficult to defend the option if you're not playing assignment football.
10:29 remaining here. 2nd and 10 for Waterford. Second and 10 for Fitch. They trail 7-0 to Waterford. Ball is at the Fitch 20-yard line. Nelly will operate out of the shotgun this time. Twin receivers right. Back in motion. Nelly hands the ball off on the outside. It looks like that went to Scott. And not much there. Hollis Scott, the fullback that time, with not a lot of running room. And 2 plays, 2 good defensive plays by the Lancers.
Yeah, Waterford flying to the ball in the first 2 plays defensively. And again, linebacking core, people in the secondary making plays, assignment football, stay in your lanes. Very good job in the first 2 plays by the Lancers.
And some size down there on that Lancer defensive line. Big number 77, Chris Prenga, and Tyler Zalkowski bringing some size there on the defensive line. Not to mention, on the other side of things, big number 78, Naheed Fleming. 3rd and 10. Nelly rolls left, throws across his body, pass complete for a first down up to the 35-yard line. Nice pitch and catch that time by Nelly to his receiver, 13, Zach Letelier. Nice job, and as usual, Letelier is on the receiving end of a Fitch pass.
Yeah, Nelly's a very athletic quarterback, and a nice job setting his feet, looking downfield. Well-needed first down, move the sticks if you're the Fitch Falcons. Nice job by Nelly there. Nice pitch and catch with Letelier.
And a very important first down after a three and out after a 3-play touchdown would have been devastating for Fitch. This is a little bit of righting the ship right here. Nelly under center. Scott is the fullback. Twins right. Nelly hands the ball off on a fullback dive to Scott, but not much there. Maybe a yard. 2nd and 9.
Waterford plays mainly a 4-2 defense, Casey, and sometimes it's a 5-2 because they're going to creep a linebacker up to the line of scrimmage. But the big thing that they want to do is they want to pinch the middle. They want to pinch the middle, give no running room for Scott and for the fullback, whoever it may be for the Fitch Falcons, because, we've seen Fitch in the past. Their bread and butter could be a home run by Scott up the middle.
Yeah, Kyle Cardoza is the really important guy on that Waterford defense. They have him in coverage or they walk him up to the line, depending on what happens. Under center. Now we go out, pitch out wide right. Andrews trying for a block, gets a block, and has a first down. Nice tough run by Tyler Andrews. Gets the first down for the Falcons up close to midfield. We're going to call a check, by the way. Naheed Fleming, not Naheed, Naheed Fleming is the biggin, the big body, number 78 for those Lancers on the line.
Here we go for the Fitch Falcons, withstand the big haymaker in the first minute of the game, and they're in business here on the just shy of midfield at about the 48-yard line, running the ball very effectively.
If I saw him coming at me, I would Naheed as well. Under center, Nelly in motion. Pitch out goes to Stevens. Stevens tries to cut it back inside, and not much there. Nice job of pursuit that time by the Lancer defense. Maybe 2 on that play. Down under 7.5 minutes remaining. 7-0 Waterford here in the first period.
At that time, we saw the first remnants of the field. A little cutback lane that time, and a little slip and a fall. Could see a lot of that tonight.
You see number 13, Letelier, bringing the play in from the sideline. I like the old school bring the play in from the sideline.
Yeah, I like that. Yep.
It all
fits the call from the coach.
I don't want the hands. I don't want headsets and wrist bracelets.
You want the signs?
I want the play coming in.
How about the signs?
I want the play coming in from the sideline. All right, 2nd and 8. Nelly under center. Nelly, fullback dive. Hollis Scott, nothing there. Hit by the aforementioned Naheed Fleming. And there is nothing there. You can't run past 78. He is a big guy.
And again, the 4-2, 5-2 look almost up front by the Waterford Lancers. And they creep those linebackers up to the line of scrimmage. Real try and pinch the middle, pinch the nose guard, pinch the center, and give Scott no room to operate there.
Naheed Fleming is 6'4", 275. If he's not on the basketball team, I'd like to know why. I don't care if he can't shoot at all. He should stand and put his hands up in the air.
It's just another one of those third downs here for the Falcons on this drive. They converted earlier on a 3rd and long. Let's see what happens here.
3rd and 10, and Nelly under center. You're not embracing my Nahide Fleming.
No, I'm not buying
under
it.
Center. Nelly rolls right, keeps it himself, straight up the middle, puts his head down. He's going to be close to the first down marker before he's popped by Kevin Grandieri right at the first down marker. But I think he's got enough, and either way, Fitch is going to go for it. But I think he's got enough for the first down.
I'd give him the spot here. Nice job by Nelly, just reading that defensive front and taking it upfield. He's got some quick feet, Case. He can turn it upfield. And, again, we see the speed for Fitch. We get the power with Scott, the speed on the outside with the Falcons as well.
So the officials are going to call for the chains because on a nice, rainy, cold, wet night, we want to stop the clock as much as possible.
Keep the clock moving.
That's exactly right. It's called sarcasm.
Keep the clock moving. All right.
Sports doctor, you take a picture. What are you perusing at there? They're going to call it. It's a short by about a foot, but the Falcons will go for it here, no doubt, in Lancer territory with 6:05 remaining in the first period, trailing 7-0.
This will be the 9th play of the drive for the Falcons. They started back in their own 20. Moved the ball very well through the air and on the ground as well. Big down here for the Falcons.
4th, and we'll call it a football. Nelly under center. Hollis Scott will be his fullback. Letelier splits out to the left now. Stevens heads out wide left as well, along with Letelier, so it makes it trips left for the Falcons. And we got some movement on the offensive line. The Lancers jumped across, but they're saying they were drawn, so let's see what the officials say. Looks like illegal procedure against Fitch, and that's a tough one.
That's a bad penalty right there. That is a undisciplined penalty right there, and I still believe it'll be 4-down territory here for the Falcons. But, boy, 4th and 5 versus 4th and a football.
Yeah, it's now 4th and 5 in a football.
Again, those are those little mistakes that they had made on the road last week at NFA that really cost them.
Cost them in their game against Westerly as well. And even in their win over East Lyme, Coach Mike Ellis said that mistakes have been what's killing the Falcons, both with penalties and turnovers. 4th and 5.5 now. Nelly will operate out of the shotgun. Twin receivers left and right. Nelly's going to do a little pooch punt instead. And that ball will bounce at the 20 and spin down to about the 15-yard line where the Falcons will down it. So a little chicanery that time as Nelly did a little Tom Brady pooch punt.
Those tricky Falcons. And that's too bad that drive stalled right there because they were running the ball quite effectively against the Lancer defense.
So now we're going to get our second chance to see the Waterford Lancer offense after a 3-play touchdown drive on their first possession with a little bit of everything. A pass to Devin Craig, a run with Luke Bars, and then a Spencer Hoagland run. This time they're going to send Cardoza and Craig out wide left. Hoagland from the shotgun. Hoagland hands off straight up the middle to Bars. Not a lot there. Nice job by the interior of the Falcon line. It'll be maybe a gain of half a yard, 2nd and 10.
And Fitch is one of those defenses as well. They play with a 4-3 base down there. They like to creep a lot of bodies to the line of scrimmage, trying to close things up front and make things tough for Waterford to run a football.
Waterford with a lot of size, 2-way players on the offensive and defensive line. 2nd and 10 now. They'll send Peter Torello along with Cardoza. Wide left, tight press coverage by the Falcons out there. In motion. And Hoagland to pass down the sideline looking for Cardoza. We're going to have a flag on the play as he was wrestling down there with Aiello Salvatore. And we're going to get a penalty, I believe, on the Falcons for either holding or pass interference.
Yeah, Waterford likes that matchup on the outside with Cardoza. They feel he's got a little bit of speed. He can get down the sidelines. And Hoagland can make that throw, Casey. That time couldn't connect because of the penalty. But I like the fact that Waterford is keeping the Fitch defense honest by throwing the ball downfield.
They're going to call it defensive holding as opposed to pass interference that time. And that's going to that's going to give Waterford a first down. 4:44 remaining in the first period. 7-0 Waterford. You're listening to Game Day. Live on theday.com. Casey O'Neill along with the sports doctor Keith O'Brien, the Stat Guru 2.0. To my right, the fantastic and always clever Mike DeMoro prowling the booth. Peter Wappy and crew bringing you Game Day and Wired Zone later on Tuesday. First down for the Lancers. Hoagland from the shotgun. He's going to keep it himself. Hoagland into the open. It's going to be a foot race. Hoagland's crossing midfield, looking for a block from Craig. He gets it. Splits the defenders. Hoagland's at the 20. He's at the 10. Touchdown, Spencer Hoagland. Wow!
Mr. Cool, Mr. Confidence, Spencer Hoagland doing work with his feet. Surprise, surprise. Big run that time. And flags on the field. Boy, oh boy.
I got to tell you, Sports Doctor, if I could go back and ask the question again, the biggest surprise in the ECC is, or Spencer Hoagland is, fast. I had no idea how fast he is. He gets a step, and he can beat you to the house. That is something I did not know about Spencer Hoagland.
2 carries for 88 yards so far tonight for Spencer Hoagland, and 2 touchdowns. So he has been Mr. Everything thus far for the Waterford Lancers.
That's the kind of play that we had reserved for the Juwan Johnsons of the world, where if he gets into the second level, if you miss that
Major
one
Commander,
tackle,
New London,
that's not what you expected from the quarterback position at Waterford from Spencer Hoagland. He's a kicker.
And to be honest with you, Casey, on those 2 touchdown runs, he was untouched. He was untouched. It was a foot race, and once he broke through that first level of the line of scrimmage, he was gone.
He got a great block downfield from Craig, cut it back inside, because Fitch had the angle on him. So Hoagland will now kick the extra point from the 10-yard line, so it'll be a 20-yard extra point, 13-0 Waterford. The snap is good, the hold is good, and Hoagland bangs it through. What a great leg this kid has. He is a 3-way threat for the Waterford Lancers. 2 touchdowns Spencer Hoagland has here in the first period, 14-0 Waterford.
When we talk about little things that matter in high school football, again, 4th and 6 inches, illegal procedure penalty, it's going to back things up a little bit, forces Fitch to punt. Fitch punts 2 plays later, touchdown. It's really is a game of inches and not hurting yourselves out there. And this is what Coach Mike Ellis talked about yesterday at practice when I saw him, last night on the phone is we can't hurt ourselves. We don't have that much of a margin of error. And then again, you saw a little legal procedure penalty, Casey, is a huge momentum swing.
Yeah, and I have to say I'm a little surprised defensively that Waterford is committing, that Fitch is committing as much as it is.
Yeah, I mean, and again, it's just, Spencer Hoagland's just pulling all the right triggers right now at the helm. And as this game goes in, you got to think a senior like that is only going to get better and gain more confidence.
Well, he's a confident kid, and if you don't know about Spencer Hoagland, you got to go to theday.com and check out the fantastic video. You can find it on theday.com in the sports section under Game Day, or you can go on Facebook to Connecticut to Game Day Connecticut Sports. See the feature on Hoagland, and you realize he's kind of a goofy kid, but doesn't lack confidence.
No, and it's just he's his first year at varsity quarterback too, and it's just I like the way he's in command out there on the field.
Mojica will will stand back for the kickoff now because of the unsportsmanlike penalty at the end of the touchdown. Hoagland's going to have to kick this one off from his own 25, so he's not going to get this one in the end zone, which means the Falcons will be able to return it. Hoagland approaches at his own 25 and hits a high spiraling kick that comes down to Mojica at his own 20, straight up the sidelines. Now he cuts it back to the middle, looking for a block. Nice return by Mojica, gets it all the way back to midfield. Good field position to start their second possession for the Falcons.
Well, here you go for the Falcons. They had a 9-play drive for 40 yards last time, stall with the illegal procedure penalty. Now they've got a chance here, Casey, to work with a short field and get a desperately needed score.
14-0 Waterford on top with 4:23 remaining in the first period. Falcons have the ball at their own 49-yard line, 1st and 10. Tyler Nelly, sophomore quarterback, under center. Nelly will pitch right out to Andrews. Andrews gets across midfield, across to the 40-yard line. As he got to the edge, nice run by Tyler Andrews that time, showing some speed to the outside.
Good blocking for the wide receivers downfield for the Fitch Falcons. Again, speed on the outside. Fitch's strong point.
4:16 and counting here in period number 1. 14-0 Waterford on top. And the ball will be marked right at the Waterford 40-yard line.
Waterford's defense right now is a bit of attack mode as well. The team is up 14-0 right now, playing very aggressive. 7 men at the box. If Fitch can pop one, they could actually have a big play.
Nelly under center. In motion, Andrews, and Nelly's going to keep it himself off of the right tackle, spins, and gets maybe 4 as he falls forward. Pretty much all on the legs of Nelly that time.
Yeah, Nelly's a quarterback again. He's making plays with his feet out there, and He's got a lot of responsibility on his shoulders. He runs the option. He throws the ball. He leads the team. Very important for him to make the right call on those read options.
And it's one thing that Coach Ellis said has been happening more and more every game is that Tyler Nelly has been getting better and better at the read option, making those right choices, when to leave the ball in Hollis Scott's stomach, when to pull it out, when to pitch. That, as a sophomore, means that there's bright future ahead here at Fitch with Tyler Nelly. 2nd and 5. Andrews in motion. Nelly fakes it to Scott, keeps it himself, and pushes forward up towards the first down marker, following the right side of his offensive line, and that's going to bring up 3rd and, maybe a half a yard. Back to 3rd and short for the Falcons.
3 carries for 24 yards so far for Nelly early in this ball game. And again, it's 3rd and short. Don't make a mistake at the line of scrimmage. Get behind that big offensive line, pick up the first down, move the sticks. That is the only task right now for that Fitch Falcon team.
3rd and about a foot, under 3 minutes remaining. Ball is at the 30-yard line of Waterford. Nelly. Hands off strip, the middle to Scott. Scott is stuffed, bounces outside, stays on his feet, and has a first down for the Falcons. Hollis Scott with a tough run. He absolutely bounced by getting popped in the hole on that fullback dive, but spun out to the outside for a first down.
Yeah, 7 men in the box that time for the Lancers. Kevin Grandieri on the initial hit for the Waterford Lancers. Nice job by Scott, taking it to the outside. Well-needed first down for the Fitch Falcons.
You can see the rain now blowing sideways in a sideways mist out there, so wind is picking up a little bit in addition to the wet rain.
Listen, this is Fitch football, though. You don't see any panic mode in them right now. They're down 2 scores, but they're going to stick with what got them to the dance.
Nelly under center, Scott as the fullback, Andrews, and the ball's on the turf. Andrews falls on a 40. Andrews slipped coming in motion that time, which disrupted the timing. Nelly turned and pitched it to where Andrews should have been.
Nobody.
But Andrews couldn't get there because he had slipped on the play.
And again, I guess you got to call the turf guilty on that. It's a footing issue.
Certainly field conditions play a factor there, but again, it really feels like every time Fitch gets to the precipice of where it has to do something to stay in a ball game, it kind of slips back a little bit.
And that's a 13, 14-yard loss on that play.
On a team that does not love to put the ball in the air, certainly not in must-pass situations, but they're going to have to throw the ball here, I believe. 2nd and 21 as we're now under 2 minutes in the first period. Nelly under center. Stevens goes in motion. Nelly fakes the pitch, keeps it himself. Fumble. Ball's on the turf. And Waterford says they have it. They're pointing that way. Let's see if the officials agree. And they do. Waterford football.
They got it. Well, I mean, Fitch continues to hurt themselves. I mean, what more can we say? Bad penalty, missed snap, a fumble, ball on the turf, and Waterford jumps all over it.
Evan Spahn, number 7, came out of it that time with the recovery, and great field position at their own 40 for Waterford, up 14-0, still here in the first period. Anna Bellini will go out wide right, Cardoza left, Hoagland from the shotgun. Hoagland hands to Bars, Bars cuts to the outside. Has a first down, still on his feet, into the open. Bars, 1 man to beat at the 20. Bars, down to the 10, and a touchdown, Waterford. Luke Bars.
60-yard touchdown run by Luke Bars, Casey. And I hate to say it, with 1 minute and 26 left to go in the first quarter, I see just a little bit of, I hate to say, quit out there in the Fitch Falcons. They just look very, very flat.
On the other side of the things, who are these Waterford Lancers?
Yeah, 3 drives for 172 total yards thus far in the first quarter for the Waterford Lancers on 6 plays.
The big play capability of the Lancers tonight is shocking. Hoagland with the extra point. And it looks like he shoved that one to the left, but he got it through the uprights.
Kicked that ball in no ink, I think, Casey O'Neill.
1:26 remaining in the first period, 21-0 Waterford.
3 possessions, 6 plays, 172 yards of total offense, and 3 touchdowns, all on the ground for the Waterford Lancers.
Speed, power, determination. The Lancers tonight, you said that they were the surprise. Well, color me surprised.
Yeah, boy, they come into this game with a lot of confidence, too. And it's, when the game day crew was out at Waterford High School on Wednesday, and they spoke to Spencer Hoagland, they spoke with Coach Strecker. These guys actually believe in themselves a little bit out there.
Maybe
and they have reason to be.
Hoagland said he wanted to circle the New London game because they needed that. You know what? Maybe we should circle that one after all.
Anybody see Juan Roman on the grounds here tonight looking at it?
Well, they have a day off, so maybe they could be here scouting. Clearly, the Waterford Lancers putting themselves in a position to challenge New London as the class of the ECC.
They could. Let's not get ahead of ourselves a little bit. They look sharp tonight. They look sharp.
No one's told you about a build for a big game like that. So
Okay. Sorry about that.
you're shooting it down.
Yeah, I'm all right.
Get people to listen and watch. When they have.
Check out Waterford in New London on Game Day, theday.com.
Wow. Sports Doctor needs someone. Aren't you in radio? Hoagland approaches the ball from his own 40 and whacks it right over the head of Mojica and through the end zone where it will be a touchback. Guy's got a leg, that's for sure. 1:26 remaining here in the first period. 21-0 Waterford.
That's gut check time now for the Fitch Falcons. Plain and simple. Gut check and pride check.
Well, if you need a gut check, you know where you can go? Lawrence Memorial Hospitals. The walk-in clinics all throughout southeastern Connecticut are available for all of your medical needs. So if you need a gut check, a rash check, a broken bone, or anything else, Lawrence and Memorial Hospitals. Walk-in clinics, no appointment necessary all through southeastern Connecticut. And if you're really lucky, you can drive away in a brand new car. From MJ Sullivan Automotive Center down in New London, Connecticut on the corner of Broad and Coleman Street. All kinds of deals. Go down to mjsullivanauto.com. Tell them the guys at Game Day sent you.
Outstanding as usual, Casey O'Neill.
Nelly rolls right, being pursued. Nelly breaks a tackle. And gain of maybe 2 on the play. That's a lot of effort. Fitch is exerting a lot of effort to get a little bit of yardage. Waterford's doing nothing and getting touchdowns.
Well, and the big thing for this game early, defensively for Waterford, is they're taking away any kind of running from Hollis Scott and that big dive play we've seen all year long. The bread and butter of this Fitch offense. A nice job, a little 5-2 defensive front by Waterford, pinching down again in the center. No running room up the middle, so Fitch is forced to go to the outside.
We see your guy down there at the cornerback, Jeff Evans, new addition to the Waterford Lancer football team. Obviously, outstanding basketball player, wearing his familiar 18. Nelly rolls right, breaks a tackle, cuts into the middle of the field where he's wrapped up by Cardoza and company after a gain of about 4. Going to be 3rd and 5 for the Falcons.
Jeff Evans on the football field. Wow. Coach Bill Bassett. Waterford Lancers can't be smiling about that one.
Tell him to play pile-on defense. You guys want to see any hits? Just jump on the pile, Jeff. Jump on the pile. We're down under 10 seconds remaining here. Falcons have a chance to maybe get one more playoff here before the end of the first period. 3rd and 4. Nelly under center. Going to get one more play. Nelly keeps it himself. Nelly has a first down, crosses the 35-yard line. And that will be the end of the first period, but we're going to get a flag on the play. A little bit of shenanigans.
Could be on 18. Could be on Jeff Evans. A little extracurricular activity in the pile from the all-ECC honorable mention basketball player.
You might not have to worry about Coach Bassett. You might have to worry about Coach Strecker.
Yeah.
He keeps talking. He's doing that.
Listen, that was a big first down by the Falcons to close out the first quarter. Nelly seems to be the only kid out there with any kind of fight right now for the Falcons. 6 carries for 33 yards and 1 fumble for Tyler Nelly.
Yeah, where Coach Strecker and Waterford's got to be upset right now is, like, right now, 21-0. If you don't want to give Fitch any excitement, you don't want to give them any reason to play.
No.
You don't want to give them 15 yards.
No.
So an unsportsmanlike penalty at the end of it is going to bring the ball almost all the way up to midfield, where now the Falcons will have an opportunity at better field position.
Yeah, and it looks like they're going to have an untimed down because the quarter cannot end, I believe, on a defensive penalty.
I mean free football?
Free football.
Free football, everybody.
Free football, yeah.
You know what? I'm feeling generous tonight. Free football on me. You know what, Sports Doctor? This play right here, free. Just for you.
Thanks, Casey. I mean, you're in rare form tonight.
I've always wanted to say this. No time on the clock. Nelly under center. 1st and 10 Fitch with no time. We're in between periods. Nelly rolls right, looking to throw. Heaves it deep down the sidelines, looking for Letelier, and incomplete. And we're going to get a flag on the play. And if this was basketball, Jeff Evans, you would have just gotten a whistle for a 2-shot foul.
Back-to-back plays, looks like penalties on Jeff Evans. Newcomer Jeff Evans. Put his hands up in the air, running down the sidelines. Not guilty, wasn't me. think it was pass interference on number 18.
Now, because
that's what it was, pass
wait a minute.
interference.
Because it can't end on a penalty, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to give you another free play. If this was we're at the casino, we'd be press it right now.
You got an 11, double down right now.
We are going to have another free play. So
25 yards in back-to-back plays for the Fitch Falcons, all on penalties.
1st and 10 Falcons, ball at the 36-yard line of Waterford. We are in between quarters 1 and 2 right now. Clock stopped at 0, but the rare back-to-back penalties with no time left. This is a full moon anomaly going on right now. Nelly under center. In motion, Stevens. Pitch left to Stevens. Stevens is going to throw a little trick play and incomplete and another flag. We're going to have a third play. Press it again. Lee Elsey, this is all in honor of you, my friend.
Oh, boy. Double down galore.
This will be our third play with no time left on the clock.
So you're looking at a 15-yard unsportsmanlike conduct penalty. You're looking at a 10-yard pass interference penalty and another 10-yard pass interference penalty. That would be 35 yards of penalties in the last 3 plays for the Waterford Lancers.
More importantly, free football, everybody. Football for free here tonight at Fitch High School.
Oh, boy.
I have to say, I have been doing...
That's the first time I've ever seen it.
I've been broadcasting for 25 years.
Stat Guru?
Nope, I've been longer than that. 30 years.
First time.
30 years I've been broadcasting. This is the first time I've ever seen it.
3 straight.
I'm going to have to ask Coach Ficini, who's in the booth, if he's ever seen 3 plays with no time on the clock.
No, Coach Ficini is at a loss for words.
He's been around a long time, too, so... Nelly rolls right. He's going to throws on the run in the flat, and it's caught and then dropped, incomplete. He had Andrews running in the flat, and Andrews had it, dropped it, could never quite maintain possession.
A little shoestring attempt that time by Andrews, Casey. He just couldn't bring it in.
And sadly, our free football has ended. We are now officially at the end of the first period. Your score, Waterford 21, Fitch nothing. You're listening to Game Day. Live on theday.com, Casey O'Neill, along with the sports doctor, Keith O'Brien, Stat Guru 2.0. But you know who's not here tonight? I got to be honest. I am missing the junior voice of Game Day right now. My buddy's not with me right now. Junior voice of Game Day is home with Mrs. Voice of Game Day, and I miss my buddy right now.
Big steps for him tonight, though.
It was big steps.
Pulled down the fort at home.
Man
and
of the house.
Yeah,
normally I'd be asking you what else is going on in the ECC tonight, but the answer is not a lot.
No, I mean, obviously, NFA plays tomorrow. They travel to Berlin. Take on the number 1 team in the state tomorrow. Darien, I'm sorry.
A lot of Saturday football this week.
Yeah, and New London is off. So there's a game at Montville tonight. I will get you a score on that. If Mike tomorrow, who is in the booth, he can make himself useful and grab me a score on that as well. Montville is home against Ledger tonight. We saw Ledger last week.
Yeah, here's what I gotta love about Mike tomorrow. There's a lot to love about Mike tomorrow.
Yeah.
But first he started writing columns in the regular writer's prose.
Right.
Then we added Dr. I, the pseudonym of his persona, Dr. I, right?
Yes.
You got Dr. I. Now he's writing columns as Mikey D. He actually refers to himself in a nicknamed third person in his columns.
Killingly 19 at Griswold 6. That's in the first quarter. And Montville leads Ledger, Casey, 20-0 at Montville High School. So the troubles continue for the Colonels.
And we're just going to call this play right here. In motion, Andrews. Pitch right to Andrews. Looking to get to the outside. Looking for a blocker. Evades one tackler. Gets to the corner. And a nice job that time by Tyler Andrews. Going to get about 7 yards on first down.
It's been Andrews on the edge or Nelly with the ball taking it upfield. We have not called the fullback an awful lot for Fitch tonight. I credit Waterford's front 5, front 7 for pinching things down. But Fitch has had some success on the perimeter. Just got to cut down and hurting themselves.
It will be 2nd and 5. They're going to say he stepped out of bounds. Make that 3rd and 5 because the first down play was the incomplete pass that we saw. So
3 carries for 38 yards for Andrews so far.
3rd and 5 from the 14-yard line. Andrews in motion. Nelly's going to keep it himself straight up the middle, and he's going to be short of the first down, but close. So they're going to mark it down, and obviously this will be a go-for-it situation here for the Falcons.
This is certainly 4-down territory, 4th and 2 right now. Fitch has got to find a way to stick this ball in the end zone in this drive.
And then they got to figure out how to not let Waterford score on 3 plays. That's the. I mean, first thing is you got to score, then you got to figure out a way to have stop Waterford, which they have not been able to do thus far. Timeout. Fitch on the field with 11:22 remaining in the second period. Waterford on top, 21-0. And Sports Doctor, for those of you out there, a very special edition of Casey and the Sports Doctor coming your way. We filmed here live from Fitch, and I said the most surprising thing. You said the most surprising team in the ECC was Waterford.
Yeah, I did.
And I think that holds true with their effort tonight.
Of course.
I said the most surprising team in the ECC was Ledyard because I could not believe that was the team we had seen over the past few years, especially offensively, where they're just really struggling to figure things out. And that Montville score certainly seems to indicate that we're both right. Two teams going in a little different directions.
I mean, how much is that coaching and preparation versus players taking ownership?
Well, I think, to use the New London Legion analogy, John Susie's a college head coach, and Hank Cormier coached for 30 years.
Yeah.
And Mike Santangelo pitched in the World Series, and I know a lot of baseball. The four of us could not have run New London Legion the way that it was run with Jim O'Neill at the helm.
Okay.
And all of the assistants at Ledyard are excellent coaches in their own right. But they're finding out that running a program, right now they're finding out the 300 things they didn't realize.
The little things.
Jimmy Bunicor
did.
Little
things, yeah.
And Farnsworth said it. He went from making recommendations to making decisions. Nelly on the quarterback keeper, not much there. Nice pursuit on 4th down, and the Waterford defense is going to hold.
No room up front whatsoever for the Fitch Falcons. Been talking about it all game. 5-2 defensive front for the Waterford Lancers. Pinching down that time in the center, and that time won the battle of the line of scrimmage and brings their offense, which has had 6 plays and scored 21 points tonight, back on the field.
We have seen now a few different teams here, and matchups week to week certainly determine things. And I still think Killingly, despite what happened against New London, was a very impressive team. But no one has been as impressive in the early going as this Waterford team has up till now in this game.
Yeah, I spoke to Juan Roman last week, and he told me, Keith, it was just our night against Killingly.
From the shotgun, Hoagland, handoff straight up the middle to Bars. We're going to flag on the play. We're going to get an interior hold after Bars gets about 4, and it's going to be the first time Waterford's going in the other direction.
Yeah.
So, we've seen Ledyard and Bacon both struggle, and of course Ledyard right back to struggling again tonight. We've seen Killingly look excellent, but then really struggle against New London. Stonington, who we thought played well against Killingly, has done well everywhere else but against Killingly, and this Waterford team has looked very, very good so far. So we had talked about the parity of the ECC. On a given night, I think you could flip a coin some of these teams.
Yeah, well, and again, too, I think Fitch shows it that it's, the little things, the penalties, the turnovers, the mistakes that, big momentum swings. You don't think a false start's a big deal, but it's a huge swing in this game. And these teams don't have a lot of margin or room for error, especially as Stonington and or Bacon or Ledyard.
Sports Doctor, you're right. It is. But you know what's a bigger play? The 2 70-yard touchdowns they've given up. The false start might hurt, but they've given up just chunks and chunks of yardage. Hoagland on the keeper gets about 2. Looks like the Falcons have at least figured out that they need to key on Hoagland. They clearly didn't on 2 of those plays. Now they seem to be keying in on Spencer Hoagland. It's going to bring up 2nd down and long, 2nd and 17 from their own 11-yard line.
So if the first 6 plays went for 172 yards, the last 2 plays have gone for -4 yards.
Waterford here on 2nd and long. They'll send Chris Cantris out wide to the right. Hoagland going to throws it on top. Cardoza catches it at the 40. Cardoza still on his feet, gets to the sideline, looking for a block, crosses midfield, and finally wrestled out of bounds all the way down to into Fitch territory at the 45.
Again, the second connection between Cardoza and Hoagland, a little hitch and go that time. Cardoza had plenty of room. The ball was slightly underthrown. He had to come back for it, turns for it, a big gain upfield. Once again for the Waterford Lancers.
Spencer Hoagland doing everything right so far tonight. Big play after big play. 21-0 Waterford in the second period.
2 passes for 72 yards for Hoagland, both completions to Cardoza.
Trips right for Waterford. Hoagland from the shotgun. Hoagland hands off to Wade, straight up the middle, and he's hit right behind the line. Nothing there for Luther Wade. He's thrown back by the Falcon defense, and it's going to be a loss on the play, 2nd and 11.
And again, first time tonight I've seen a little motion from the Fitch Falcons on defense. Somebody needs to get mad down there and make a play.
Yeah, Fresco Stevenson, one of the senior captains that time for the Falcons.
Fired up right there.
Yeah, that's what you need. Senior captains, those are the guys that are supposed to lead you emotionally.
They missed Dante Paul.
They do. He played big in these games. He was on the all-game day team for sure last year. Trips right for Waterford. Hoagland from the shotgun. Hoagland hands it to Wade. Wade tries to get to the outside and does, but only after about 5 yards. It'll be short of the first down. It'll bring up 3rd and 5, and I think Wade almost jumped that time from his running back position, but fortunately held himself up. So 3rd and 4 with the ball now at the, looks like the 36-yard line.
You know, Hoagland waits to the last possible minute before he keeps that ball and gives it to Wade. Does a very good job with that read option going down the line.
Cantris wide right, Torello wide left for the Lancers. Now Hoagland under center, quarterback keeper, nothing there. Stacked up on the line of scrimmage, nothing there for Spencer Hoagland that time. Nice job by the interior of the Falcon defense.
Yeah, a little quick count that time, trying to catch Fitch sleeping. No chance that time. Fitch was not buying that on that play. 4th and about 5 here. And I believe it'll be 4-down territory for the Lancers. That's a bit of a wacky play call right there too.
Yeah, it was. I think maybe they saw something. They thought maybe they'd find a gap in the interior, and instead, 4th and 3 from the 36-yard line. 8:33 remaining. Waterford already on top, 21-0, and looking for more. Hoagland from the shotgun. High snap, hands the ball off on the right side. It goes. It looks like that's Wade, and he's going to be right at the first down marker. See where the spot is. And the spot looks like it is going to be a first down Waterford. Luther Wade that time on a 4th down play gets the first down for the Lancers, and the chains move.
Big push up front that time by Grandieri and the entire Waterford offensive line. Wade did just enough to get himself the first down, to get him the yardage for the first down.
1st and 10 Lancers, 8 minutes remaining here in the first period. 21-0 Lancers are on top. Craig wide right. Check that, make that Cantris. He goes in motion. Hoagland from the shotgun. So we have trips left now for the Lancers. Wade is the lone setback to the left of Hoagland. Hoagland's going to keep it himself. Hoagland's going to get into the open. Hoagland cuts it to the outside. One man to beat. Spencer Hoagland inside the 10. Touchdown, Waterford. Spencer Hoagland. Cool as a cucumber.
3rd touchdown tonight for Spencer Hoagland. 122 yards on the ground for the senior quarterback and 3 touchdowns in the first half so far.
7:40 remaining and all Waterford Lancers.
And that was a manufactured drive that time by the Lancers. You didn't see the big plays. You saw Hoagland taking his team down the field. 81-yard drive that time by the Waterford Lancers, Casey.
Cardoza will hold for Hoagland's extra point. Snap is good, hold is good, and the kick is long and good. And with 7:40 remaining in the half, 28-0 Waterford.
Wow. No, I don't have a lot of words to describe this. It's basically it. Wow. Yeah, we've seen, I think, a coming out party tonight for Spencer Hoagland, a quarterback for the Lancers.
Yeah, I have to say I am much more impressed than I was expecting to be, mostly at the speed of Spencer Hoagland. And we knew he was a tough kid, a creative kid, and a confident kid, but the speed has been far more superior than what we were expecting.
Yeah, so far the Waterford offense has manufactured 263 total yards and slightly under a quarter and a half here at Fitch High School. I would tend to think that Mike Ellis is going to be a little disappointed with his team's effort here tonight. I know it's early, but they seem a little flat.
Yeah, I'm not in any way trying to make fun of the sports doctor as being perhaps Captain Obvious. They're down 28-0,
yeah.
7:40 in the first half, and you think the coach might be a little disappointed?
A little bit, yeah. I expected a little more out of this.
You're suggesting there's not going to be balloons in the locker room at halftime? 7:40. You know what else? It's raining out.
It is, yeah.
And it's nighttime. Well, while we're stating
we're
obvious
going to have a lot of
facts,
fill here in the second half, aren't we?
Oh, we're going to have a blast here in the second half. Hoagland high spiraling kick comes down at the 20-yard line, taken by the up back of the Falcons, and returned by Andrews to the 37-yard line. So Tyler Andrews gets the Falcons in a good field position. And right now, if you're the Falcons, sports doctor, you just need to stay positive and keep churning out positive plays. Move the football. To quote got to matriculate the ball down the field.
Yeah, and they've done that the last 2 times, but they've hurt themselves on 4th down and could not convert. And I just, you've got to try and reach for something positive. Obviously, you're down 20-0, so one possession at a time. That is the sports doctor's battle cry right now.
Nelly under center for the Falcons. In motion, Andrews. Pitches right to Andrews. Andrew gets a block, but nothing there. Great job on the outside that time by the Lancers. Peter Torello shed his blocker and got Andrews for a loss of 4.
Yeah, the Lancers are flying into the football right now. Grandieri playing middle linebacker right there, the captain of the defense, barking out singles. And Fitch has not run the football up the middle once effectively all night.
I got to say, looking down the field, this is the biggest Lancer team I've seen in a few years. There's a lot of size down there, both on the defensive line and through the linebacking core of the Lancers. 2nd and 15 from their own 33-yard line. Nelly under center, in motion, Andrews to the right. Nelly's going to keep it himself on the option off the right side and fight forward for a gain of perhaps 2. Not much more than that. It's going to bring up 3rd and long, 3rd and 12, 13 yards, which is not where you want to be if you're Fitch. Already down 28-0 here in the first period. First half, rather.
Danger zone time is long gone for this Falcon team.
I don't really know what more to say right now, but they're trying to, find something that's going to work, and obviously they don't want to have to spread it out and throw the football. That does not play to the Falcons' strength. Falcons will send Tony Figueroa down to the wide left. Nelly sprints, and he's hit very, very quickly and sacked for a loss. Evan Spohn, who we saw earlier with a fumble recovery, shooting in that time, and sacks Nelly for a huge loss.
And again, the Waterford defense is in attack mode, and they can be. They have a 4-touchdown lead and making things awfully difficult down there for the Fitch Falcons.
That's going to bring up 4th and really, really far. I don't even know how to measure this. 4th and 25. So the
long point.
Falcons will punt. Snap is good. Kick is high and short. The Falcons are going to need a bounce, and they get a sideways bounce, but that is going to be not even that punt did not get past the original line of scrimmage.
Bit of a shank there.
Kicked it straight up in the air.
Did you play golf today? Did you take today off? You play a little golf? Your last 2 Fridays, you played golf with the sports doctor 2 weeks ago, and played at Norwich. Last week you played.
This is not. I'm not a. I don't believe in golf
today.
Yeah, I don't believe in golf in the rain.
You actually worked today.
I worked hard.
You had a
today,
tough day. Tough day.
Well, I've worked hard. I deserve my. Some people call it Miller time. I like to strike a little white ball once in a while.
Sure.
Hoagland from the shotgun. He's going to throw, looking on a slant to Annabellini, and has him up close to the first down marker. Nice pitch and catch that time. Dan Annabellini on a nice slant pattern for a first down for the Lancers.
Right now, when you watch Spencer Hoagland play quarterback, it's like he's playing a video game almost out there. I'll throw to this guy, I'll throw to that guy, I'll throw to Cardoza. I'll keep the ball, run the ball 50 yards myself. He can do whatever he wants to do on that field.
Annabellini goes wide right. Cardoza and Torello wide left for the Lancers. Hoagland going to hand the ball off to Bars. Bars tripped up in the backfield that time. Nice job on the outside by the Falcons. Going to trip up Andrews.
Video game. Big video game player, Case.
I was back in the day. The Junior Voice just created.
Madden
you get the new Madden 17, sure. And he created A.J. O'Neal, number 37, like his old man. Plays quarterback for the Cowboys.
I can't tell you the last time I played video games.
I do like playing the RBI baseball with him, though.
All right.
Yeah, I do. He kicks my butt, though. That's no good. 8 years old.
Stack Guru, you play video games?
Hoagland, straight drop, looking to throw. Over the middle for Craig, incomplete. Just a little bit over the outstretched fingers of the 5'11 Craig. If he had thrown it 5'10, that would have been a catch.
First incompletion of the night for Spencer Hoagland.
With 4:17 remaining in the first half.
Perfect up until that point.
Wow. It's going to bring up 3rd and long for Waterford. Has Waterford scored on all of its possessions thus far? I believe it has.
Yes,
Four
they
for
have.
four.
He's 3 for 4 for 82 yards for Spencer Hoagland.
Annabellini wide left, Torello wide right, Hoagland in the shotgun with Bars to his right. Hoagland hands to Bars, and a great job on the little shoot that time from the Falcons into the backfield. Looks like Scott got him in the backfield, and that's going to be a long loss, and it's going to bring up 4th down for Waterford.
Probably one of the first negative plays we've seen from this Waterford offense tonight.
Well, Hollis Scott that time didn't even assume that Hoagland was going to keep the ball. Just went right after Bars and got him behind the line of scrimmage. Big loss, so it's going to be 4th and 15.
We're going to see a field goal attempt here by Spencer Hoagland. He is rumored from kicking it from 62 yards.
Well, he's kicking this one from the 37-yard line. So this is a 47-yard effort by Spencer Hoagland. Snap good. Hold good. Kick is up, and it is wide left, and it goes into the end zone, which means the ball will be a touchback. And that's one of the things that Coach Strecker talked to us about last night. He said, you're going to see us attempt field goals, because really what that acted as is a punt. You let him kick it, and if he doesn't make it, as long as the ball goes into the end zone, it's a touchback.
Right.
So he knows Hoagland's going to at least get it into the end zone, which means it's a touchback, and Fitch takes it at the 20. So a little bit of strategy that time with a weapon that time, and a rule I knew nothing about prior to talking with Coach Strecker last night.
Yeah, and nothing really to lose there if you're for Waterford, because you said he's going to reach the end. It's a tough kick, too. He's going into – look at the win. Look at the flag.
I don't think they thought he was going to make it.
You see the win, but you see the flag.
I don't think they thought he was going to make it. I think they figured he was going to get it to the 20, give him a chance to kick it. Nelly rolls right, pressured and crushed, throws downfield, incomplete, looking for Figueroa. We're going to get a flag on the play. Nelly was absolutely crushed by Grandieri in the backfield. And we're going to see what the flag is, see if they're going to get a roughing the passer penalty. But Grandieri just buried Nelly.
2 flags, one on the quarterback in the backfield, and then one downfield in front of us at about the 50-yard line. You could have a roughing the passer and a pass interference on the play.
The first one is we're going to get is a. Looks like the upper officials explaining it right now. However, we haven't seen a signal. He's just talking to the Fitch bench.
Kevin Moreland.
Here we go. We have a pass interference against Waterford and a dead ball personal foul. No, another one against Waterford. So back-to-back penalties against the Lancers. Not a personal foul, however. So the big penalty there is the pass interference.
Sportsmanlike conduct. Was that from the plant on the quarterback from Grandieri?
Well, I don't know. He didn't signal a roughing the passer penalty, just an unsportsmanlike penalty. So perhaps we get to the. Perhaps it was could have been a taunting. It could have been, right there. It could have been assault with the way he buried Nelly that time. But
so that's going to be a 25-yard penalty.
The Falcons' biggest plays of the night have come on Lancer penalties.
Yes, what is that, the 5th penalty so far tonight on the Lancers?
No, more than that. Well, there's been 2 on that play. We had 3 with just
3 consecutive,
with no time left.
Yeah.
And that ball's going to move. That's going to move it all the way up to midfield. So the Falcons are in business. Nelly, after surviving what was a giant hit by Grandieri, sends in motion and fakes a pitch, hands off. Nelly going to throw, and it's intercepted by Waterford. Looks like Torello got that one. Peter Torello intercepted, and Nelly that time an ill-advised throw.
And Nelly had receivers going down the field. He just looked off to the right-hand side and did not set his feet, slipped on the ground, just made a bad throw there that time. Boy.
3 minutes, 12 seconds remaining here in the first half. 28-0 Waterford. A poor choice that time by Tyler Nelly. And now Waterford will have it.
Second turnover of the night by Nelly at the quarterback position.
Hoagland hands off to Bars, straight up the middle. Bars gets about a yard or 2 before he's wrestled to the ground. It's going to bring up 2nd and long, and the clock is now under 3 minutes to go here in the first half. You're listening to Game Day, live on theday.com. Casey O'Neill, along with the sports doctor, Keith O'Brien.
We'll do a little halftime stuff with Mike tomorrow tonight. He's in the booth, so we'll get him ripped up. I'll start with the stat guru, and then I'll bring in Mike, and we'll have a little fun tonight.
Hoagland will operate out of the shotgun. He has Bars standing to his left, twin receivers left and one right. Hoagland receives the snap, hands off to Bars. Bars cuts it back inside. Bars is going to have close to a first down before he's into the secondary of the Falcons and wrestled to the ground. Nice job that time by Luke Bars on a tough run. The Red Sox and Blue Jays are delayed. That's going to cause a hiccup if they can't get that game in. The Yankees and Baltimore are somehow in the bottom of the first inning. I don't know how they're going to get that one in. They're delayed in Washington. So up and down the eastern seaboard, if you're playing right now, you are wet.
7 carries for 73 yards in the first half of Bars. He's been very productive on the ground along with Hoagland.
2:14 and counting remaining here in the first half. Anna Bellini goes wide right. Craig and Cardoza wide left. Hoagland hands off up the middle to Bars. And Bars is hit right at the line of scrimmage, maybe even a yard into the backfield for a loss on the play. It's going to bring up a very long second down for Waterford, and it's now under 2 minutes remaining here in the half.
A little scrapping up front with Kevin Grandieri, a little two-way player for the senior for these Waterford Lancers. Plays the middle linebacker, plays the offensive line. Little ruckus after the play that time. Just kids having a little fun up there, Case.
Cardoza and Torello wide right. Trips now right for Waterford. Hoagland hands the ball off to Bars, and nothing there. The Falcons are selling out and sending everybody to the football on the run play, figuring that Waterford's going to keep it on the ground. And they were right. It's going to be another big loss on the play, and it's going to bring up 3rd and 14.
And again, they're attacking the running back. They're attacking the tailback. It'd be interesting to see if Hoagland actually kept one of these plays and turns it upfield. But the Fitch defense is swarming to the back.
Yeah, they're selling out and sending everybody to the ball carrier, not the quarterback. It's going to bring up 3rd and 14, ball on the other side of midfield now. We're under a minute remaining. Hoagland from the shotgun. Hoagland throws a little screen pass to Bars. Bars in the open field. Bars gets a first down and more all the way to the 30-yard line on a little screen pass, just a little pitch and catch with Bars, and he gets a first down for Waterford.
Yeah, 4 out of 5 so far in the night for Spencer Hoagland for 102 yards through the air. Timeout by the Waterford Lancers. So Spencer Hoagland not only doing it with his feet, but doing it with his arm as well.
39 seconds remaining here in the first half. 28-0 Waterford in what has been a shocking first half where we have seen big play after big play. Spencer Hoagland, the quarterback, leading the way with big passes to Devin Craig and to Kyle Cardoza and big runs of his own on the ground. 3 touchdowns on the ground for Hoagland.
Yeah, he's doing it all tonight, Casey. He is, again, we've referred to him as cool and in command and in charge, and he's doing it all out there. He's playing a video game, quarterback.
So we're going to have 1st and 10 Waterford, ball at the Fitch 31-yard line. Just under 40 seconds remaining here in the first half. Stay tuned, of course, at halftime, where the sports doctor will have a little fun with Mike Demaro and the stat guru here at halftime at Fitch High School. 1st and 10, Waterford. Now clock is, he said, 39 seconds remaining. We're going to have Hoagland from the shotgun. Bars to his left in the backfield. 3 receivers. Hoagland's going to keep it himself and head straight up the middle of the field, but hit almost immediately at the line of scrimmage. Nothing there, and we're down under 30 seconds remaining left, and we're going to get another flag and some shoving on the ground, and another flag.
Another flag.
And they make that 3. Let's empty our pockets. All the laundry on the field.
A lot of action down there.
Well, we had some pushing and shoving. You're not supposed to do that. So.
Chippiness?
Now, we said we weren't.
Can't use chippiness. I was told they cannot use chippiness.
We got to find
chippiness is for basketball. We're trying to find another
find a synonym for chippiness.
I'm looking. I'm
you
searching.
You didn't like shenanigans. You didn't.
Chicanery's all right.
But that's not what that means. So we don't want that. We want an actual word that means something. Chicanery is not that.
Offsetting penalties. Believe it or not. First, stupidity is
trying to use a slightly less harsh word for the chippiness. So it's going to be a offsetting unsportsmanlike penalty. I shove you, you shove me. We say sorry. Let's all move on. Timeout Waterford. 28.8 seconds remaining here in the first half. Sports Doctor, your thoughts here on the first half of football?
Shocked. Very shocked. I think Fitch has come out a little flat. They got punched in the mouth in the first minute of the game. They have not recovered. Again, it's momentum is a fickle thing. I say it all the time. You know, in high school sports, Waterford came out, cashed in a big pass, a big play. You know, with Hoagland in the first minute, and Fitch has never recovered.
Yeah, and there's a couple of names on the Falcons that we have not called tonight because they have not been playing. Well, I wasn't going to say who they were.
Yeah.
But if you know who they are, then you know that we haven't called them. And if you don't know who they are, then just know that they're 2 starters for Fitch, and they're not playing right now. And that's all you need to know. So we're going to have 2nd and 10 from the 31-yard line. Hoagland will be in the shotgun. He'll have Wade as his lone setback standing right next to him at the 36-yard line. Anna Bellini wide right. Twin receivers to the left. Hoagland. Straight drop. Looking to throw. Over the middle to the tight end. And it is caught for a first down. Spohn down close to the 10-yard line. The tight end that time, Evan Spohn. Straight down the middle of the field. That's a play we have not seen yet, but I like that one by the Lancers.
Spencer Hoagland's been near perfect tonight. 5 for 6 so far on the night for 123 yards.
With a wet football on top of it.
Hey, he's looked pretty sharp back there. He's had no pressure. Fitch has brought no pressure in the passing game, against Waterford, but he's standing back there. He's cool. He's calm. He's found different receivers. Cardozo on the outside. He's found a tight end across the middle. Showing you a little bit of everything tonight for the Waterford Lancers.
25 seconds remaining here in the first half. 28-0. Waterford on top. You're listening to Game Day live on theday.com. Of course, tune in on Tuesday to Wired Zone, where you can see the quality package, the film put together by, of course, the great Peter Wappy. And we are waiting. There's a timeout on the field right now.
Those features they do on Wednesdays and Thursdays are tremendous, too.
Yeah,
that feature on Coach Ellis was very good. The feature with Spencer Hoagland and Coach Strecker and, all those things leading up to, the Friday night game and then, obviously the Tuesday video. Just tremendous stuff.
Yep, the videos that have been put out on the early, like last week, the onside kick at Ledger, some of the early touchdowns, some good stuff. All right, 1st and 10, Waterford. Hoagland from the shotgun. Hoagland's going to throw. Straight drop. Has time. Goes into the corner. And incomplete just over the diving Cardozo. And he was in the back of the end zone, but incomplete. And 20 seconds remaining here. It'll be 3rd down and 10 for Waterford.
Hoagland and Cardozo have hooked up a few times tonight, and Hoagland just missed on that pass play in the end zone.
Had him in the back of the end zone. Cardozo was open at about the goal line, and a nice job by Hoagland putting it into the back of the end zone to let him run underneath it just a little far. 2nd and 10. Hoagland from the shotgun. Straight drop. Plenty of time. Deep corner route looking for Anna Bellini, and it's incomplete. Anna Bellini a little bit underthrown that time as Anna Bellini had a step, and Hoagland couldn't quite get it there. Anna Bellini turned back to the ball, incomplete.
Yeah, Danny Anna Bellini is one of those kids that came up through the system in Waterford youth football, and he was the quarterback for youth football. Now he's converted to wide receiver. A very athletic, talented kid. 3 straight incompletions for Spencer Hoagland.
On the field, it says it's 3rd and 10. So we're going to stick with 3rd and 10. 3rd and 10, 15 seconds remaining. Anna Bellini wide right. Twins left. Hoagland from the shotgun. 3rd and 10. Straight drop. No pressure. Rolls. Going to keep it himself. Looking for the corner. Now he's looking to throw. Throws it into the end zone for Anna Bellini. Touchdown, Waterford. And give the credit to Spencer Hoagland.
Boy, he is having himself a ball game out there in every facet.
We do have a flag on the play, and I don't know whether we're going to get a flag that's going to be against the Lancers, and that is going to negate the touchdown pass from Hoagland to Anna Bellini that had 8 seconds remaining in the half.
That was a tremendous throw that time by Spencer Hoagland, finding Anna Bellini all alone in the back of the end zone.
And that's the play of an experienced quarterback, because he tucked it, and everyone assumed he was going to run with the wheels he's shown tonight, but he pulled it back up and threw a strike to Anna Bellini. But the Lancers, for the first time in this half, really hurting themselves on the offensive side of things. Defensively, they've had some costly penalties, but it's the first offensive time we've seen it. And so with 8 seconds remaining, it's going to be 3rd and long now with the ball, and we're going to have Hoagland is going to come on and attempt a field goal, but it's still only 3rd down and 8 seconds remaining. So we got a little talking on the field between the officials. If he does try to kick it, it'll be from the 30. It'll be a 40-yard field goal attempt.
Into the wind. Again, a strong, stiff wind, yes.
And if it's only 3rd down, I don't know exactly why they would do it here. Could run another play for sure and then line up and do it again. I believe Waterford has timeouts remaining as well, but you know what? Maybe they just want to give Hoagland some practice kicking the ball. So it's going to
show
be
off his leg.
40-yard field goal for Hoagland attempt. Here we go. Snap is good. Hold is good. Kick is up, and it is no good. Wide left. He had the distance. And with 3 seconds remaining, the Falcons will have the ball at their own 20-yard line. He had the distance, but just hooked it in that wind a little bit to the left.
Pretty good boot, pretty solid leg, Casey, like you said, into the wind that time. And missing 2 field goals is about the only thing Spencer Hoagland has done wrong so far in the first half.
Well, he went from being a kicker to a quarterback, and in this half, he has been quarterback more than kicker.
Yeah, and so far, the first half of this ballgame today, Waterford with 305 yards of total offense. We talked to Coach Strecker last night. He wanted a 60-40 balance run versus pass, and they've done it on the ground, and they've done it through the air.
So with 3 seconds remaining, the Falcons will likely take a knee and run the clock out here as we will head to halftime. Waterford on top 28-0. Stay right here for the Sports Doctor. He'll have the Stat Guru and Mike Demoro in here at halftime. Talk all world sports. Actually, the Falcons are going to run a play. Pressure. Pass is going to be down the sideline and incomplete as the receiver slipped and fell, and that will take us to halftime. Your score at halftime, the Waterford Lancers 28, the Falcons of Fitch 0, but of course, we have a flag on the play.
Another one.
And I think if it's against Fitch, they're going to decline it. It's a hold against Fitch. Waterford's going to decline it, and mercifully, we are at the half. 28-0, Waterford. Here is the Sports Doctor, Keith O'Brien.
Yeah, thank you, Casey O'Neill. It's a halftime house call with the Sports Doctor, Keith O'Brien. We are live game day in Wired Zone, theday.com here live at Fitch High School, bringing you Friday Night Late Football. And so far, a bit of a one-sided affair, 28-0 surprise. The surprise of the ECC, the Waterford Lancers, and we're bringing in my good buddy. I haven't spoken to you in a few weeks.
I know.
I mean, you were gone. Mike Demaro from the London Day. How you been? Busy?
Busy. Very, very busy, Keith.
Coast Guard Academy last night?
I fixed this microphone here.
Coast Guard Academy last night?
Hall of Fame dinner last night, and they opened the Otto Graham Athletic Hall of Excellence there, and Keith, it is something to see, let me tell you.
Nah, you like that. I mean, you like that kind of stuff. You like those dinners. You like showing up.
I love that
the whole pomp and circumstance and everything.
But this was a celebration of Coast Guard like you can't imagine. I mean, tributes to Otto Graham, Arnold Palmer, Jack Dempsey, and all the teams that they've had that have done great things there. Really, it was really an honor to be there last night.
No, I mean, let's start with that because I don't get a chance to talk to you too much. I haven't talked to you in 2 weeks yet. You were not at the game last week. So, Arnold Palmer, you're not a big golf guy.
No,
but I mean, when you talk about icons in sports in general,
Keith, it's the way he treated people.
Yeah.
I mean, I talked to some people at the dinner last night who knew him because he has ties to Coast Guard, and
right.
It's just he was if you didn't know he was one of the greatest of all time, you'd never know.
Yeah, I had a chance to play golf at Bay Hill in 2004 with my brother-in-law. Yeah, and we drive up, and the first person I see in the parking lot is Palmer. So I'm on the practice range with him. He tees off 3 groups in front of us. We play our round. We go to the clubhouse. When I tell you the clubhouse at Bay Hill is old and is like a men's clubhouse, there's guys playing cards. There's guys having sandwiches, having a few adult cocktails. And Palmer comes up from behind me, puts his arm around me, looks down at me and says, "So how'd you hit him out there today, son?" I turned around and I looked at him and I said, "Often." So you're right. I mean, people say that he is one of the nicest. Yeah. Take pictures for everybody, Mike.
Yeah.
Stop and talk to everybody. He's just a normal guy down there at Bay Hill.
That's how you're supposed to be, Keith.
Yeah,
that's really. I mean, it doesn't hurt to be a good guy, right?
No, it doesn't hurt at all. Mike, in the world of the NFL coming up too, we got week 3, week 4. Week 3 is in the books. Week 4 started last night with a putrid game between the Bengals and the Miami Dolphins. We're back to last week. Your Giants losing a tough game to the Redskins, and it doesn't get any easier as they take on the Vikings on Monday night. Vikings is surprised a little bit to you this year, Mike, without their quarterback, Bridgewater.
Yeah, but their defense is so good, I don't think it matters. I mean, who's the quarterback? Their defense is
Sam
really
Bradford's
good.
out there now.
Yeah, and the Giants did what they do.
I mean, so what do we have? 5 undefeated teams right now in the NFL. You have the Patriots, the Ravens.
There's
Vikings.
There's 5 undefeated teams, but there's one team right now. I think the Patriots are head and shoulders. I mean, if they can do what they're doing right now without the first ballot Hall of Famer, well, come on. I mean, this is not. I think down the road, maybe Pittsburgh could give them a game because they might be able to outscore them.
Shocked
But
of them losing last week to the Eagles
I know,
that.
I know.
Was that just one of those games? Are we, as if I could use a quote here, can we take it easy on Carson Wentz, or do you want to put him in Canton just yet?
Well, and it's interesting, Keith. Enough tape will get out there about a rookie quarterback.
Right.
He'll come back. But I also think what's interesting is the Eagles have a bye week this week.
Right.
Terrible time to have one.
Especially when
Which
you're rolling like that.
They're going to play 13 straight weeks now.
Right.
And that will take its toll on them.
I mean, you gotta like the fact that they brought an offensive guy in there, and Doug Peterson.
Yeah.
He's got a young quarterback there, and just put him in position where he can succeed.
Yeah, I mean, Chip Kelly came with hype.
Yeah.
And hasn't done a thing.
Chip Kelly basically alienated
Doug Peterson,
everybody in that team.
Yeah, Doug Peterson. No one knows who he is, and he's 3-0.
Yeah, and there's a lot of good storylines right now in the NFL as well. Obviously, the Cowboys a little more nicked up. Looks like that Brian's going to miss some time with a hairline fracture on his kneecap or whatever. But Dak Prescott is a young kid who's performed quite well, and we've seen a couple of these new guys. We talked about Wentz. You got Dak Prescott in there, so. Some of these quarterbacks, when they're put in positions like that, and the Cowboys are very talented offensively.
Well, you know what it proves, Keith, is you don't have to go to a major. You don't have to play in a major college program to be a good NFL quarterback. I mean, I think he'll come back down to earth, but the Wentz kid, he'll be fine.
Yeah. What do the Rams do with a kid like Jared Goff, who gave away the farm to get him with the #1 overall pick, and you got Case Keenum out there, quarterback?
That's why they're the Rams.
No, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Here's the sports doctor, Keith O'Brien, the halftime house call here at Fitch High School. Mike tomorrow from the London Day. Mike is inside the booth. If you guys don't know, that's not usually when it rains. Mike is inside. We're talking the world.
It's called soft.
Yes. Talking it's season too, Mike. You've been doing this a long time as well.
Yeah.
Mike, baseball is heading down the stretch of the season. Finally, in the last 7 games of the season, your Yankees wake up. They sweep the Red Sox, but the playoff picture is starting to shape up a little bit more here, especially in the American League.
Keith, tell me this: who pitches Game 1 for the Red Sox?
Porcello.
Okay.
I don't think there's any doubt about that.
So, the $217 million man is going to pitch Game 2.
Pitched terrible the other night.
Yeah.
Pitched terrible. I mean,
I'll tell you something. If those two guys can pitch well, I think they got a shot.
Yeah, I do too.
They do.
I do too. I think their offense is very good.
Yeah.
A bit of a scary situation the other night with Craig Kimbrell. He came in. He didn't get anybody out.
Yeah.
He came in.
The
Mike,
bullpen is an issue.
Mike, you can't pull your closer out of a game because you didn't get anybody out.
Right.
What did he give up a single to the Yankees the other night and
he didn't
walk the next 3 guys?
Yeah.
And came out of the game.
Yeah.
And the Sox lost that game with the home run at the Sheriff.
Yeah. That's an issue. And I think that right now, if I had to pick, I would have picked the Indians to win.
Right.
But they have a banged up starting pitching staff right now. So I know they have a good bullpen, but I don't know that their starters are going to get anybody out.
Mike, does it say something for somebody like Craig Kimbrell, who's pitched in San Diego his entire career, not in big games, not in pressure cooker situations? Now he comes to the Red Sox, and the pennant's on the line, or the division title's on the line. The playoffs are here. I mean, will he shrink? Or will he rise up? I mean, Mike, these guys like this guy, Mike.
I get nervous National League to American League.
You do?
Anytime those pitchers come to I don't trust them because every lineup in the National League, the 8 guy can't hit, and the 9 guy is the pitcher.
Well, how about the fact that he plays in meaningless games for San Diego's
Well,
career?
that
Now he's in the fire. Your feet are in the
Excellent
fire.
point. That's
you
right.
gotta perform.
I don't. I mean, anytime in the Yankees have signed a high-priced pitcher from the National League, I'm always skeptical because I don't trust him. Kevin Brown.
Yeah,
Perfect.
big.
Ed Whitson came from San Diego.
Yeah.
He couldn't get me out. That's just the way So I worry about those guys.
Mike, can anybody get hot in the National League? Can anybody get rolling and beat the Cubs?
Well,
I mean, can the
Dodgers?
Dodgers? Mike, can the Dodgers? Can the Dodgers?
I think the Cubs are going to win the National League walking away. I don't know who they're going to play. I mean, for pure theater, I hope they play the Red Sox.
Yeah.
'Cause that would be a great World Series.
Yeah.
I mean, just two teams with huge followings. Theo coming back. The Cubs haven't won in 108 years. All that stuff. That'd be a great World Series.
No, in the world of college football, I wrap things up with you before I bring in the stat guru. I've talked a little bit about the UConn football in the past, and I've been a little bit, skeptical of them. And I'm watching the game last night, and I believe it's the second or third series in. If the score is 0-0, they're 4 touchdown underdogs on the road. They've got a 4th and 4 from the Houston 38, and Bob Diaco punts the ball, gains 18 yards. 5 plays later, I do believe Gary Ward Jr. goes in for a touchdown. Mike,
No.
Mike, you're on the road.
He's a defensive coordinator. He's not a head coach.
Yeah, but
He's not.
Yeah,
He's not.
Mike, everybody in the free living world in college football spreads the field, throws the football, takes chances. I go to the game. Stat Guru was at the game last weekend. I would rather see the quarterback for UConn 15 out of 39 with 3 picks, throwing the ball all over the field than what I see in a weekend.
I agree.
Mike, I want to be entertained.
Well,
open it up.
They're down a touchdown last week.
Yeah.
They advanced the ball the length of the field via the air, and then $3 into the line from first and goal. I mean, you would think they'd have learned their lesson at Navy a couple weeks earlier.
Even the Virginia game was ugly too. I mean, that was Syracuse is not a great college football
bad.
team.
Well,
they had you
Notre
kind of
Dame
changed
will
the tide.
roll them. You'll see how bad Syracuse is tomorrow.
Well, Notre Dame
will crush
going to have to do something, but that's my whole take on UConn football. I mean, and I was at the game last week. I was in the stands, obviously, and people they want to be entertained when they go to these games.
Exactly.
You want to be entertained, and something. I mean, what's Diaco? It's his 4th year there. His 3rd year.
Yeah.
I mean, Mike, he's been given a contract extension. Yeah. He's been given a vote of confidence. Do they need to bring in a big-time offensive coordinator or somebody with a little bit of imagination?
To me, he's not the guy. And Keith, what bothers me is Syracuse and UConn on a September Saturday.
Right.
There shouldn't be 10,000 empty seats there.
There's only 31,000 people.
Mike,
I bought a ticket for $10.
That's to me, that is as big of a concern as what's going on the field.
Right.
Syracuse, UConn ought to have a little bit of juice to it, and it doesn't.
No. I mean, I got a ticket for $10. I waited 30 seconds before the kickoff, and I basically walked in the place. But
that's just brutal.
Yeah. Well, they got a long road ahead. I mean, what are they now? They're 2-3.
2-3, and and they get into the teeth of the AAC now. You're going to get Cincinnati. This is not going to be easy.
Yeah, and I'll talk to this. I'm going to bring it on the Stat Guru 2.0 in a second. But the big game tomorrow night.
I can't wait.
Clemson, Louisville.
Oh yeah, 62 to 58. I hope.
Mike, if Clemson started slowly, they're kicking things into high gear now. And these are the games that I love to see. This is a big-time college football game tomorrow night.
These are 2 of the most electric quarterbacks in the country tomorrow. You got to watch that one.
Yeah. What's going on with you now with the day? What's going on with you guys personally right now?
Busy.
Yep.
Busy.
Fall
fun time of
season.
year, fall sports. UConn stuff going, and the basketball divisions came
Oh,
out today.
jeez.
So
Oh,
we'll
boy.
have some fun
Well,
with that.
Coach
But,
Dave Cornish from Legend is
yeah,
not happy.
No, we'll have some fun with that down the road. But
All right. I'll see you down in the field
All right,
afterwards,
Keith.
Mike. Thanks
Good
for a
talking
few
to you.
minutes. Yep.
right.
Mike tomorrow from the New London game day, and just talk. I love talking sports with this guy, and love talking sports with Mike. It's halftime here. It's 28-0 as Fitch is down to the Road Lancers Stat Guru 2.0, and you're in here. You're rocking your Blue Jays garb today.
I am. Got a big game tonight if they play, but they got to win this series if they want to make the playoffs.
Yeah, trying to grab that 2-0. No score in that game against the Yankees. Busy week for you or what?
Yeah, I've been working out, getting ready.
You went to the UConn football game
I
last
did.
weekend. Would you go to UConn for like a scholarship visit or something like that?
Yeah, it was just a visit for baseball.
Yeah.
So I went up there. They had me watch their practice and then go to the football game. So it was a good day.
You see the basketball team in the corner
Yeah,
and
it was
stuff
cool.
like that. I mean, I don't want to get too much into it, but what Mike and I just talked about with UConn football.
They need some imagination, like
Yeah,
you
imagination.
said, offense. But their defense has been improving over the past couple of years. Diaco has a plan on what he's going to do, but they just need offense. Like, they got to take some risks. If they're playing big teams like Houston, you can't be punting like at the 38-yard line.
You got to roll the dice and chicken. It's another big game tomorrow. Stat Guru is with number 9 Wisconsin going into the Big House to take on the Michigan Wolverines. You know, and Wisconsin has quietly snuck up into the top 10 now with a big win first week of the season against LSU. And now they're in position here where they can almost crash the party a little bit if they could beat, Michigan, because Ohio State's up there in the Big Ten. You have three teams in the Big Ten, all in the top 10.
Yeah, last week they pounded Michigan State. I was really surprised by that score, but they have a good running back in Corey Clement. So if they can get the run game going against Michigan, I think they'll be able to maybe pull off an upset in the Big House.
Yeah, this is those games, too, that, Jim Harbaugh loves. He loves to get up to these big-time ball games at home, and again, you're gonna have 105,000 screaming people there. That would be a game I'll watch on TV tomorrow.
Yeah, well, it's gonna be rocking there, so excited to see what's gonna happen and see if Michigan's be able to stop Wisconsin's offense.
And you got the night game, the big game at night. Tennessee tomorrow takes on Tennessee's got a big game. Tennessee play tomorrow. Big game tomorrow. Tennessee, Georgia. Between the hedges, yes. So Tennessee's another one of those teams. A big game at Georgia, and then the big game tomorrow night is Clemson against Louisville.
I don't know if there's any defense in the country that can stop Lamar Jackson. Like maybe except for Alabama. Nick Saban always comes up with a plan, but Clemson's talented on defense, but I think he'll probably get 5 or 6 touchdowns like he normally does. So I think it's going to be a high-scoring battle, not a lot of defense, and I think it'll come down to the last couple of drives.
A little shocked about this score here tonight?
I am. I thought Fitch, after seeing them week 1, they had a couple big plays, but Waterford's been able to keep them short gains only. But in Waterford's, on the other hand, they've had the big plays. So
when's the next college visit?
I'm not sure. I got to find out. Got to talk to the recruiter. So
you've been working out. You got your skills sharpened. Summer league basketball.
Summer league basketball. Getting ready for basketball. Got to get bigger if I'm going to battle down low with the big boys in the ECC. So
that's it. You got to feed the machine. We'll talk to you soon.
Okay.
All right. Nice job.
Thank you.
Stat Guru 2.0 and coming back in is my partner Casey O'Neill. And
Stat Guru's going to have to take a little more time in the gym if he's looking to bang with the big boys down in the ECC. We got to get a little more, get the squats going.
Now your day tomorrow, you've got a lot on your plate, but it could be a total wash. Now, if your day tomorrow is a total wash with the soccer games and the runs, and
the races,
wife and Mrs.
all
Game
that.
Day, I mean, your chances of watching college football.
If we're rained out tomorrow, I will watch at least one of the. I don't know what time I will be watching at least one of the day games for sure. The night game's a lock.
Yes, and the day game would be Michigan and Wisconsin, 3:30.
I have a shot at that. If everything is washed out, well, the race won't be washed out. We'll be at the race even if we're wet. If soccer is rained out, though, there's a good chance it could be a movie day. Could be a matinee for Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children for me and the Junior Voice of Game Day and Mrs. Game Day.
I've been in the movies in forever.
Well, it's rare that if I see anything that's not animated or involving a superhero. So, people say, "Hey, did you see The Revenant?" I'm like, "Was it animated? No. Was it about a superhero?
Did you see Deadpool?
I did see Deadpool. You know why? It's about a superhero. Of course, I had to watch it.
That's not a PG movie.
I had to watch it on my own time at home.
Right, it's not a PG.
What
did you think of Deadpool?
I thought it was one of the best. I thought no one talks about it enough because it wasn't for the kids, but it was fantastic.
It's a good movie.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Funny.
Ryan Reynolds is good. I like Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, it's a good movie. It's a good flick.
So I was down on the field talking to the great Peter Wappy about his impression of some of the things going on in the first half, and and he said, I didn't know. He goes, he was on the same impression we were. I didn't realize Spencer Hoagland was this good, but his overriding thing was he's just happy it's not wetter out there than it's not as bad as we thought it was going to be.
I thought I was going to use the term quagmire tonight to describe the field, but the field's held up pretty well.
Yeah, I was hoping that we were going to have monsoon-like conditions, but it's been much better out there than we thought.
And the Waterford uniforms are still like ghost white.
Yeah,
they look great. They look fantastic.
You know what's great about halftime of a high school football game? I was over and I watched you would not know listening to the Waterford coaches talk.
Yeah.
Who was ahead 28-0. They're over there, and it's like you would think their team was down 20. Number so-and-so's killing us. We're not. How is anyone? You're ahead 28-0. Nobody's killing you. But if we don't stop that.
Well, I mean, I think you have to be that way with kids, don't you? I mean, their kids are kids. I mean, they have an ability to let down every once in a while.
Yeah, but permanent doomsday, though. What
would you want Coach Strecker to say? Okay, let's take the foot off the gas pedal. We're up by 4 touchdowns.
What do you have to? What kind of have do you have to have? Spencer Hoagland played like a combination of Cordell Stewart and Dan Marino in the first half. Defensively they're pitching a shutout. What do you have to do to have the coaches go in and not have a doomsday?
Yeah, but what are you gonna? What else is your option? Okay,
where are we going after?
Easy.
Where are we going after the game for pizza?
Yeah, all right.
We staying home? We going home or?
Where the Waterfords are they're going to Supreme. They're going to Mr. G's. I don't know.
That's true. As the great Mike DeMora points out, we did have 28 minutes of extra football in the first half with penalties and, of course, 3 plays with no time.
Waterford's kicking off to start the second half. Left or right on your radio dial. They're in the road white. Fitch in the home black. I give you the voice of game day for the second half, Mr. Casey O'Neill.
Hoagland will approach the ball at his own 40-yard line, and he bangs a kick into the wind. It's going to tail down, and it's going to come down to a Falcon at midfield. It's going to be up the middle to about the 35, 40-yard line. We'll see who that is on the return. That's Stevens on the return, and he's going to get out to the 35-yard line. No, I have to correct one thing from the sports doctor.
Yeah.
We are not on the radio.
No, I know. We're on the web, but your proverbial radio.
But it's not a radio dial. There's no radio dial. You can't turn it. It's not a radio dial. You want to say left or right in your imagination?
Left to right.
Right to left.
Right to now, left. Right to left, Fitch is going.
Right to left in your imagination. Right to left
Pride.
On the horizon on your screen.
Falcon Pride.
Falcon Pride.
Second half.
All right, Tyler Nelly under center for the Falcons. 1st and 10 here with the ball at their own 35-yard line. Pitch goes to Cleon McClish. McClish gets a seam. McClish gets into the open, and Cleon McClish is all the way up to midfield. We didn't see him in the first half. We see him now, and the difference he makes. Cleon McClish is electrifying.
Coach Mike Ellis sending a message to his team a little bit in the first half with some of these players being kept out. Cleon McClish doing work on his first carry. Turns it up for 12 yards.
Got to make up for lost time, does Cleon McClish. Tony Figueroa split left for the Falcons. In motion. Pitch goes to Sebastian. Sebastian gets a block. Sebastian to the outside. Sebastian gets a first down. There's another name we haven't called. Isaiah Sebastian, the senior captain.
Sebastian and
I'm going to check that. That's Hamir Stevens, number 9. It looked like Sebastian, but it was, in fact, Hamir Stevens, number 9, on a nice run.
Stevens and McClish running mad a little bit here to start the second half. A little chip on his shoulder, and rightfully so.
McClish is one wing. Stevens is the other. Scott is the fullback. In motion, McClish. Pitch McClish. McClish breaks a tackle. Tries to get to the outside. Breaks another tackle. And finally, after a gain of 4, the Lancers corral him. But nice job that time. Torello on the outside had a chance at him. And McClish with a little bit more speed than what the Lancers were used to in the first half.
Yeah, definitely a little spark here for the Fitch Falcons having McClish and Stevens in the lineup in the backfield.
So
see if that opens. I'm sorry, Casey. See if that opens things up for Scott going up the middle with the speed on the outside.
2nd and 7. Falcons at the 35-yard line of Waterford. Nelly. This time he does fake the pitch and goes straight up the middle. And it's a big play for a first down straight up the middle. Big Hollis Scott on that fullback dive. Great fake by Nelly.
Just what the doctor ordered. Back-to-back plays on the outside showing you speed. Pop it up the middle with Scott. That's a part of that Fitch offense we did not see in the first half.
Isaiah Sebastian was in motion, and everyone sold out for the outside fake and for the pitch, and Hollis Scott straight up the middle.
Yeah, the speed on the outside from McClish and Stevens will keep the defense honest up the middle, which will allow Scott to get some running room.
Straight up the middle again to Scott. Scott breaks a tackle. Scott in the open field. Scott churning towards the goal line, and it'll be first and goal Fitch. What a different offense this Fitch Falcon team is here in the second half.
I'm not too sure what was said at halftime in the locker room by Coach Mike Ellis, but I'm sure it was productive, Casey. They are coming out here with a vengeance, Falcon pride, get themselves a score, get themselves moving in the right direction.
First and goal, Falcons from the 6-yard line. Under 10 minutes remaining in the first half. Nelly under center. In motion, McClish. Nelly pitched to McClish. McClish cuts it back inside off a right tackle, churning towards the goal line. He's going to be just short. They're going to mark him down at looks like the 2-yard line, but that'll make second and goal from the 2 now for the Falcons.
Third carry for 24 yards for Cleon McClish here since he's entered the ballgame. Quick legs hitting the hole.
Second and goal Falcons. 9:20 remaining here in the first half. Some technical difficulties that we thought we had figured out at halftime, but we're going to have to go old school again here with the stat girl. 9 minutes remaining here in the third period. Second and goal Falcons from the 2-yard line. Nelly under center. In motion, McClish. Nelly, quarterback keeper, spins. Touchdown! Tyler Nelly and the Falcons are on the board.
With a vengeance that time, 7 plays, 61 yards for the Fitch Falcon offense to open things up here in the second half. We saw a little McClish, we saw a little bit of Stevens, and then we saw Tyler Nelly taking it in for 6 points for the Falcons.
Easily the most productive and efficient drive of the evening for the Fitch Falcons. The kick is up, and it is good. And with 8:57 remaining, Tyler Nelly caps off his own 2-yard touchdown run with an extra point, and it's Waterford 28, Fitch 7. And I got to tell you, Sports Doctor, we have seen a lot of strange things on game day, and many of them right here at Fitch on this Fitch field. So let's see what happens.
Yeah, Fitch was up 21-0 just a month ago against the Wesley Bulldogs. Wesley came back and beat them. Obviously, the Bacon game last year against Fitch, a wild finish in that ball game, Casey. So what do you say now if you coach Strecker to your team over there on the sidelines?
I say pedal to the metal, boys. Let's go get them. So, of course, for those of you not in the football mood, there are, in fact, some baseball games tonight that have some meaning. The Red Sox and Blue Jays are in the bottom of the first inning after a rain delay in Boston. No score there. Yankees and Baltimore, bottom of the third, no score there. The other important games, the Mets are losing to the Philadelphia Phillies in the top of the fourth inning. Detroit up 3-0 on Atlanta as they try to chase down that second wild card spot. Everything else later in Major League Baseball. And when we get a break later, Sports Doctor, we'll talk a little bit about what this rain could do to the wild card situation in the American League, where you could have Detroit playing 5 games in 5 days in 5 different cities.
Yeah, it's going to be hectic.
Nelly will kick off from his own 40-yard line. Craig back deep for Waterford. And it's a little pooch kick, and it's covered at the 45-yard line by the Lancers, covered by Spohn. And the Falcons try to catch the Lancers napping and hit a line drive, maybe get it lucky and have it bounce off a Lancer, but instead it was just very alertly covered by Spohn.
Yeah, checking the out-of-town scoreboard as we roll into action here tonight. Killingly 19, Griswold 6. And we'll get you a score as soon as I can on that Montville-Ledger game.
Yeah, it was very surprising. Handoff to Bars, and nothing there. Falcons, we saw in the first half, rallying to the football. We're doing it again here to start the second half. Loss of 3. Little bit of life in the Falcons here.
Yeah, I mean, definitely a change of pace, and you know, again, you don't know what happened at halftime in that Fitch locker room, but it was good.
8:31 remaining.
33-0. Montville leading over the alleged Colonels.
We will have Montville next week hosting the New London Whalers. Hoagland from the shotgun, going to throw. Hoagland has time over the middle, incomplete. He was looking for Spohn, and he overthrew him, and it's going to bring up 3rd and long. And Sports Doctor, do you sense a little something in the air right now?
A little momentum is a fickle thing, Casey O'Neill, and it is swinging in the Fitch Falcons sidelines. This is the first time all night that Waterford has faced just a little bit of adversity. They're coming back after a Fitch score. The offense is sputtered on 1st down and 2nd down. The ball's getting wet down there in the field. The rain's picking up.
Craig wide left, Cantris wide right, Cardoza in the slot. Cardoza comes in motion, and we are going to have a illegal procedure now. 5 more yards tacked on against Waterford. I'm going to go on a limb here and say, I think we're going to see a little bit of momentum changing.
Didn't we see this last year out of the Waterford team against Montville? They raced out to a big lead. Montville came back and beat them in the second half.
We've also seen the craziness of this field. Dorr Field here at the campus of Fitch High School has been host to all kinds of wacky games on game day.
Yeah, the rain's picking up here in the second half, and rain could be a factor in this game.
Out wide left now goes Torello and Cardoza. Hoagland from the shotgun, 3rd and 20. Hoagland to throw. Hoagland pressured. Hoagland rolling left, throws into the flat, and it's incomplete, nearly intercepted at midfield. That time the Falcons got pressure, had coverage, and almost intercepted the pass.
And that's the first time that Fitch has pulled Spencer Hoagland out of his comfort zone, back there quarterback. No time to set his feet. No time to, assess things downfield. The Falcons are flying high on defense right now.
4th and 18, and the Waterford will punt from its own 37-yard line. Hoagland stands at his own 25. He will punt it away. High snap, and a low line drive kick through the wind. Dices and takes a nice Waterford bounce to the 30-yard line, where Fitch will have it 1st and 10 from their own 30-yard line.
Boy, he's a weapon, though, isn't he? Even if he's not doing it at the quarterback position, he can kick the ball. He can change. He could change field positions with his arm, his foot, and his legs. He could do it all.
Yeah, he's a triple threat. He's a hearkening back to the days of George Blanda.
He's a very good luxury for a high school football coach to have a kid like Spencer Hoagland.
Absolutely. All right, Falcons love what they're doing, getting the ball back right away here. 1st and 10. Nelly pitches to, looks like, is that Stevens or McClish? McClish to the outside. Check that. It is Stevens. Stevens all the way inside the 40-yard line to the 35. It was Hamir Stevens. Hard to see, but a big gain by Hamir Stevens down the sideline, and the Falcons are in business.
4 carries for 62 yards for Stevens since he's entered the ball game here in the second half. Falcons got something going on the ground right now.
They're rushing up to the line now. They've got McClish and Stevens on the wings. Hollis Scott is the fullback. Nelly under center. In motion, McClish. Pitch right, McClish looking for a block. Gets to the outside. Cuts it back inside. 5-yard gain. The Falcons, though, are running downhill.
Yeah, and patient running that time by Cleon McClish. Casey, he tried to turn the ball up the field. Had nothing. Took it to the outside. Put his head down. Good gain on 1st down.
It's going to bring up 2nd and 5. 7.5 minutes remaining. Plenty of time here if the Falcons can punch another one in.
And McClish is one of those patient runners, too. He'll drag that down the line and then turn it upfield. Boom, home run.
Nelly under center. In motion, Stevens. Pitch left to Stevens. Stevens cuts it up the middle. Breaks a tackle. Still in the open. 1st down and more inside the 10. Hamir Stevens has a 1st and goal for the Falcons.
5 carries for 82 yards for Hamir Stevens. All here in the second half for the Fitch Falcons. Fresh legs doing the trick down the field for the Fitch Falcon team. Casey, don't look now, but if they could punch one in here, we got ourselves a ball game.
1st and goal from the 8. Hamir Stevens, the sophomore we saw at quarterback in the opener, has been doing yeoman's work carrying the ball from the wing. In motion, McClish. Pitch right, McClish. McClish puts his head down, cuts up into the inside, churns towards the goal line, and he's going to be just short, down at about, looks like maybe the 2. But a nice job on 1st down by Cleon McClish. It's going to set up 2nd and short. 2nd and goal from the 2-yard line for the Falcons.
Now, again, you see the offensive line finally asserting themselves. You see speed on the outside with Stevens. You see the power up the middle with McClish. It's a different look Fitch Falcon team here in the second half.
Cleon McClish and Hamir Stevens on the wings, Hollis Scott as the fullback, and Tyler Nelly under center for the Falcons. Second and goal. In motion, McClish. Nelly, quarterback keeper off the right end, and it's a touchdown. Tyler Nelly with just under 6 minutes remaining. The Falcons have something a brewing here.
Whoa, Nelly, we got ourselves a ball game here in the second half. And the Waterford Lancers back on their heels a little bit defensively, Casey O'Neill. Fitch is a different Fitch ball club here to start the second half.
And Nelly will stay on for the extra point, attempting to make it a 14-point game. Snap is, nope, they're going to fake it. Throwing into the corner of the end zone, looking for two, and it's incomplete. And I'm not sure why, but an incomplete that was from Figueroa into the corner of the end zone, trying to get two that time.
I'm not too sure the reason of the trick play on that. I mean, 28-14 is 28-14.
But with 6 minutes remaining here in the third period, 28-13, the Falcons have something going.
Yeah, they look good, boy. I tell you, they definitely come out with a different style, different pace. McClish and Stevens certainly uplifting this entire Fitch Falcon team. The offensive line's playing much better in the second half.
As I was coming back from the at halftime, the former New London basketball great Matt Rollins, who's in the stands tonight, calls to me, and I said, Matt, what are you doing here? And he says, I have a daughter. She's a cheerleader.
Sure.
I said, so be clear, you're sitting in the stands on a rainy night down 28-0 because you have a daughter as a cheerleader.
Yeah.
And he looks at me and he goes, yep. And I said, I am so glad that I have a son, because I got to think that sitting out and watching anything at this weather has got to be brutal.
Yeah, well,
I said, you are a good father, Matt Rollins. You are a good father.
I got to get down on the field, too, for the coach's interview after the game. That's all right.
It's Misty. Play Misty for me.
Misty Mountain Hop.
28-13. The Falcons have decided to show up here in the second half and make this thing interesting. 5:59 remaining. They're singing in the press box here at Falcon High School. That's how much they're excited about this thing becoming a ball game. Devin Craig, back deep for Waterford, stands at his own 15-yard line. And it's going to be an onside kick. It's in the air. The Falcons have a chance at it, but it bounces out of bounds. Missed opportunity by the Falcons. They had a chance. Max Mazzella couldn't hold on to it. He knocked it up into the air for the Waterford Lancers, but the Falcons couldn't fall on it. And great field position now for the Lancers. We'll see if the Falcon D can hold.
Yeah, why not? Why not pull out all the stops? I mean, you've run down the field in 2 consecutive possessions, scored touchdowns, so why not take a shot and try and get a bit of a cheapie, as they would say in the business?
Ball's marked at the 47-yard line of Waterford.
Big possession here for the Lancers. They need to try and manufacture some offense a little bit.
Hoagland will go from the shotgun. Bars to his right. In motion, Cardoza. Jet sweep to Cardoza. Cardoza keeps it up and cuts it back in the middle of the field. Gets back to the original line of scrimmage. And not much there. A very, very tenacious Falcons defense. And there's a little bit of barking going on.
Little woofing going on down there between Cardoza and the Fitch defensive line. It's the first time we've seen that jet sweep tonight. Fitch is flying to the ball right now.
Yeah, Fitch's Raphael Adams was all kinds of fired up down there after making that tackle. 2nd and 10. We're down under 5.5 minutes remaining, but the Lancers have not had a positive play here in the second half.
We have not seen Spencer Hoagland yet keep the ball, tuck and run. He had great success with that in the first half.
Torello wide left. They got trips now left. Hoagland going to throw. Pressured. And Hoagland evades one tackler, but he won't evade the second. The Falcons sent pressure, and Hoagland was sacked. Fresco Stevenson.
Do you sense the fact that Waterford is getting away from what made them successful in the first half? If Hoagland was, keeping the ball on the read option, making plays with his feet, I haven't seen Spencer Hoagland carry the ball in an awful long time.
No, and that time Fresco Stevenson got pressure along with another lineman from the Falcons, and Hoagland avoided one, but 3rd and 13 from the 43, and watch out if the Falcons hold here. Hoagland from the shotgun. In motion, Craig. Hoagland to throw. Hoagland, plenty of time. Great throw. Deep down the sideline, and he overthrows Cardoza. And you saw there, that's the wind. He's throwing into a strong sideways wind. It's what carried his field goal wide left, and it carried the throw that time wide left. And Waterford is going to have to punt.
Yeah, 4th straight incompletion for Spencer Hoagland back there, quarterback position for the Waterford Lancers. And again, they've gotten away from some of the things that made them successful in the first quarter.
Hoagland will stand at his own 30-yard line. He's going to punt to Figueroa, who's back at his own 20. Snap is good. High end-over-end kick. Bounces and takes a great Waterford roll all the way down to the 10-yard line of the Falcons. So there's, again, a great job by Spencer Hoagland. And the Falcons will start at their own 10, but they have been ripping up yards here in the second half, so they're going to have to go 90 yards to get back to a one-score game.
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely a tale of two halves here at Fitch High School. Fitch has got all the momentum right now, and they're moving the ball very well. Waterford so far in the second half, Casey O'Neill, minus 6 yards of total offense after racking up 305 in the first half.
First down, Falcons from their own 10-yard line. Tyler Nelly. In motion, Stevens. Nelly hands off to Hollis Scott. Up the middle, Scott breaks a tackle and ridden down after a gain of about 3. Grandieri on the tackle.
Yeah, Fitch is going to keep doing what they're doing, soften things up the middle for Scott by running the ball with McClish and Stevens on the outside. They've got a nice little offensive set working right now.
Right now, the Falcons are doing the opposite of what they did in the first half. They're ripping off big chunks, making it look easy on the offensive side of things.
Yeah, good play calling rhythm right now from Mike Ellis and his staff.
Nelly under center. Scott is the fullback. In motion, Stevens. Pitch to Stevens, looking for a block, gets it, cuts it inside. Stevens breaks a tackle, first down and more. Stevens crosses the 30 to 33-yard line. Hamir Stevens. First down, Falcons.
Running with a purpose here in the second half is Hamir Stevens, as he is doing yeoman's work with his legs. Nice cutback, turns it upfield. Casey O'Neill, second half so far for Hamir Stevens. He has 99 yards on 7 carries.
Can Cleon McClish make this much of a difference?
Just
a different Falcon team. McClish in motion. Handoff straight up the middle. Hollis Scott. Scott breaks a tackle off the right side and bulls forward for 8 yards on first down. Just giant chunks of yardage being ripped up here by the Falcons.
Again, now you're seeing the threat of the option. The threat of the speed on the outside, the home run hitting ability with the fullback with Scott. Casey, it's all working so far here in the second half of the Falcons.
Down under 3 minutes remaining now. 3 minutes, 28-13. Waterford on top, but it's a different Falcon team here in the second half. All Fitch. In motion, McClish. Pitch right to McClish. McClish using his speed, gets to the outside, dives forward over the 45-yard line to the 46. That'll be a gain of 4 yards on first down. It'll bring up 2nd and 6.
And again, all positive plays so far for the Fitch Falcons in the second half out of the running game. 4 or 5 yards to the outside, 6 or 7 up the middle, 14 on the outside, 10 or 12 up the middle. Again, good play calling rhythm right now for the Fitch Falcons.
And no flags. They haven't hurt themselves with any costly penalties. Let's see if that can continue. Second down now and 5. In motion, Stevens. He gets the pitch to the outside, looking to get to the corner. Stevens needs to break a tackle. Great open field tackle that time on the outside by Waterford's Anna Bellini. It's going to stop Stevens short of the first down by about a yard right at midfield. That's going to bring up third down and a yard for the Falcons.
Yeah, big hit that time by Waterford safety, Danny Anna Bellini. Two-way player, plays wide receiver, plays safety, came up. Great pursuit to the ball. Got Stevens just short of the first down.
Third and a yard. Ball at midfield. 1:45 remaining in the third period of what has been a very different third quarter. Nelly in motion. Stevens. Nelly going to keep it himself. Has a first down. Nelly churning. Getting those legs moving all the way to the 45-yard line. Tyler Nelly, first down, Falcons.
An 8-man loaded box that time by the Waterford defensive front. Nice job by Nelly. And if you can slip past that first level, there's some green grass out in front. Nice play by senior quarterback Tyler Nelly. Tucking it, keeping himself, putting his head down, getting 6 or 7 good hard yards.
1:20 remaining here in the third period. It has been all Falcons. This third quarter has been Falcon dominated.
Yeah, Nelly's played very well here in the second half. He's kind of settled down a little bit. He's in total control of that offense right now.
In motion, McClish. Nelly pitches to McClish. McClish looks to get to the outside. Cuts it inside. Nice cut by Cleon McClish. And there's that penalty flag we were talking about, and that is going to be a hold on the Falcons out on the outside.
McClish trying to put his head down, get an extra couple yards. Looked like the wide receiver that time for the Falcons on the outside. Could have been Letelier, guilty of the holding penalty.
That would be Letelier. Zach Letelier.
See if I can catch you napping.
Oh, the Letelier family loves us right now as it is for our mea culpas on poor Luke last year.
See if I can catch you napping a little bit.
Oh, we're not going to have Letelier part 2. It's going to be he is a Letelier. But it will, in fact,
I'm sure his dad is here tonight, too. Joe's probably out there in the stands.
Joe Letelier
is,
in fact, out there someplace. However, wherever you are, Luke Letelier, you are always an all-game day favorite. 1st and 20 for the Falcons, back on their own side of the field. In motion, Hamir Stevens. He'll get the pitch, gets a block, cuts it to the outside. Stevens has got speed. Stevens has one man to beat. Stevens is ridden out of bounds at the 20-yard line by Cardoza, but a big first down by Hamir Stevens.
This is a one-man show here in the second half for the Fitch Falcons. Hamir Stevens, 8 carries for just shy of 130 yards on the ground. Hamir Stevens showing you nice patience on the outside. Turn it up, hit the hold, hit the Jets. Big gain for this Fitch Falcon offense. Casey, and for the first time in a long time, Fitch has overcome one of their own mistakes. Holding penalty, no problem. It's got the Waterford defense back on their heels a little bit as Coach Strecker calls timeout right now to try and regroup his troops.
30 seconds remaining in period number 3. Now I have to ask myself, I'm going to have to ask Mr. Ficini over there, if that was, in fact, was that Hamir Stevens or was that Isaiah Sebastian?
That was Sebastian.
So,
okay, so my numbers are wrong. Your numbers are wrong.
Here's what happened. For the entire first half, there was no McClish, there was no Sebastian.
Right.
In the second half, we first saw McClish, but we didn't see Sebastian. I called his number, but it wasn't him because the number 2 and the number 9, the 9
exactly
is Hamir Stevens. They look exactly the same on these Fitch uniforms. Thank you, Coach Ellis. So finally, I get used to calling Hamir Stevens off the right wing, and just when I get comfortable doing that, they whack me with Isaiah Sebastian.
Just trying to keep you honest, Casey.
Man.
But a big time out there by the Waterford defense. Coach Strecker doesn't like what he sees. This defense has been on its heels the entire second, and they're on a penalty flag.
And we'll see what that one's going to be. That's an interesting penalty flag.
There's some woofing going on down there.
And the Waterford kids have their hands up like, what are we doing? But now they're clapping. We see Grandieri clapping. Fitch says it's against Waterford. Waterford says it's against Fitch.
It's sportsmanlike conduct, doesn't it?
We're going to have a dead ball, unsportsmanlike conduct penalty against Waterford. And that is going to move the Falcons all the way down inside the 10. It's going to make it 1st and goal.
Are things starting to unravel a little bit for the Waterford Lancers? Off of a timeout to try to regroup the defense, they hurt themselves in an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty.
There's a chance that the Falcons could go into the 4th quarter in a 1-score ball game. Unbelievable. Well, Sebastian is the wing to the right. McClish goes in motion. Nelly hands the ball. It's on the turf. And he falls on it. What a great time. He was trying to do a fullback dive to Hollis Scott. And it came off of Hollis Scott's hip, went onto the ground, and Nelly wisely fell on it. And that's going to probably be the last play of the 3rd period. And the Falcons will regroup, and now it's going to be 2nd and goal from the 17-yard line.
The second miscue by the Falcon offense on this drive, a holding penalty, now a miscue on the snap. And that will back them up, like you said, quite a bit out to the 16-yard line.
Shooting themselves in the foot there on 1st down. You know, speaking of shooting yourself in the foot, if you found that you have shot yourself in the foot, you can go to Lawrence Memorial Hospitals. Walk-in clinics all throughout southeastern Connecticut. Lawrence Memorial Hospitals, no appointment necessary. They will take care of you all throughout southeastern Connecticut. Lawrence and Memorial Hospitals, walk-in clinics.
How do I get there?
But if you do have a foot with a bullet in it,
how do I get to Lawrence
Memorial
Hospital?
You might not be able to drive your new car, which you can get down at MJ Sullivan Auto. At MJ Sullivan Auto, there are new cars for good deals. You can go down there, proud sponsors of Game Day.
Sure.
MJ Sullivan Auto, corner of Broad and Coleman Street in New London. Go to mjsullivanauto.com.
So if you need a ride to L&M, we got you covered right here on
Get a car, and you and your shot foot do not have to go. Yeah,
10 plays for 78 yards so far on this drive by the Fitch Falcons, Casey. And they're in business. They're, like you said, they are 1 score away from making this a one. I mean, they're touchdown away from being right back in this ballgame.
To be clear, if you're just tuning in now, and I can't imagine why you would just be tuning in now.
Right. It's a wacky
halftime,
game.
28-0 Waterford at halftime, and it looked like Waterford was playing the Fitch Pee Wee team. I mean, it was really that easy. It was. Can you say it was as easy at 28-0 as you had seen?
Yeah, I mean, it was again, Spencer Hoagland was playing a video game back there, quarterback.
2nd and 10, Falcons. Pitch goes to the outside, and McClish gets back maybe 4 of those yards, but it's going to be 3rd and goal from the 15-yard line. A tough down and distance for the Falcons.
And again, the little things, the penalties, the miscues a little bit. Fitch has stayed away from them a little bit in the second half, but twice on this drive, they overcame it the first time. This is 4-down territory, you think, here, too, for the Falcons.
Tough field goal to kick with that sideways wind going. Plus 28-16 doesn't do a lot for you. So you definitely could see 2 plays to get 15 yards, but it's also to get a touchdown, which is very, very difficult. In motion, Stevens. Pitch left to Stevens. Stevens is going to throw. He's got a man in the open. It's Figueroa. Touchdown, Falcons on the trickery. Hamir Stevens to Tony Figueroa. Touchdown, Falcons.
The old bait and switch play that time by Coach Mike Ellis. Again, this Fitch Falcon offense clicking on all cylinders. The coaching staff of the Falcons dialing up the goods on the offensive end. Great play that time by the Falcons offense.
And that's the difference, having Hamir Stevens on that wing. He can throw the ball.
He can throw it.
The extra point by Nelly is up, and it is good. And with aces wild, 11-11 remaining in the football game, it is 28-20 Waterford. We've got ourselves a 1-score game.
You know, the third quarter was a resurgence of this Fitch Falcon offense. They had 217 yards of total offense in that quarter alone. Now they find themselves down by just a touchdown and a 2-point conversion.
You need to say that again.
117 yards of total offense in the third quarter alone.
I'm sorry. They had 217 yards of offense in the third quarter.
I didn't make that up.
In the third quarter?
That is strictly from
you sure
Stat
you don't have
Guru.
you sure there's not a decimal place out of it?
No, 272 yards. 128 yards in the first half. 217 yards in the third quarter. Different Fitch Falcon offensive football
So you
team.
could say that they more than doubled their first half
Yes,
output
they did. Yes,
in the third quarter.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did. Wow. And I give a lot of credit to this coaching staff at Fitch.
Wow.
They have held things together. They were down 28-0. We don't know the outcome of this game, but I don't know what was said in the halftime in the locker room with Coach Ellis. I'll find out on Tuesday morning on Wired Zone. But what a difference. What a ball game.
You might find out at the end of this game.
Yeah. You could.
You might find out at the end of this game. 11-11, 28-20. Falcons have made this thing a ball game. The wind knocks the ball off of the tee, so they're going to have a player come and hold it. Devin Craig is back at his own 20-yard line awaiting the kickoff. Waterford has done nothing in the second half. Actually, haven't done a lot toward the end of the first half either. The Falcons seem to have figured out, and like you said, they've gone away from Spencer Hoagland.
Yeah, they've gone away from Spencer Hoagland making plays with his feet.
Low line drive kick. Romano knocks it down, and then it's smothered by Luther Wade at the 37-yard line, and that's where Waterford will have its offensive possession.
You know, it seems like the confidence and the cockiness and the feel for Waterford is now going to the chippiness, the unsportsmanlike conduct penalties. They've seemed to lost control a little bit of this ball game.
And the Falcons, who were, you said, not only were they flat, you said they looked like they had some quit in them in the first half. They have all the momentum going now.
I take it back now.
First down, Hoagland from the shotgun. Hoagland's going to keep it himself. Nothing there. Great job of pursuit coming out of the pile for the Falcons is Fresco Stevenson, who has played an enormous second half here. Fresco Stevenson has lived in the backfield here.
Yeah,
in the
he's
second half.
been an emotional leader and a leader on the field for the Fitch Falcons. Casey, they are bringing a lot of pressure to Spencer Hoagland. They are keying on him. They are keying on the fullback as well. I mean, they're trying to make Spencer Hoagland very uncomfortable back there at the quarterback position.
From the shotgun, Hoagland gonna throw. Rolling right, pressured, looking to throw, still pressured, nothing there, keeps it, throws it back to the middle of the field, incomplete, as he was hit again by Stevenson, this time out of bounds. Relentless pressure from Fresco Stevenson, chased Spencer Hoagland all the way across the field. Third down and a big third down for Waterford.
Yeah, we don't see any more of those timing patterns with Cardozo down the sidelines. We're not seeing any more of those, the tight end go down the seam in the middle of the field. Waterford has gone away from some of the play calling that made him successful.
I could say I don't know I've ever seen two halves as completely different as these two halves. Everything Waterford did in the first half is gone. Everything Fitch did in the first half is gone. They are opposite sides of things. 3rd and 10. Waterford, Hoagland from the shotgun. Does hitch and go. He's got Craig deep down the sideline. It's underthrown and almost intercepted. Spencer Hoagland had Craig down the sideline on the hitch and go, but it was underthrown, and Hamir Stevens chased it down and almost intercepted it, but it will be 4th and long, and Waterford will again have to punt.
Yeah, the luxury of speed at the cornerback position for Stevens that time, closed out very well, turned around, found the ball in the air, made a great play on it. Excellent job. You can't play cornerback any better at a high school level than that.
Hoagland, high snap, fields it at his own 25, and hits a high, towering, spiraling kick that bounces inside the 20 all the way to the 15-yard line. What a punt by Spencer Hoagland. If it weren't for his punts, this thing would be even easier.
Yeah, Spencer Hoagland could flip field position with his foot. Tremendous, gifted, talented back there.
In the first half of this game, Waterford scored 4 touchdowns with the greatest of ease, 3 of them by Spencer Hoagland. It was 28-0 in the blink of an eye. In the second half, 20 unanswered points by the Falcons, and they are 85 yards away from possibly tying this game.
Yeah, 48-yard punt that time by Spencer Hoagland, so he's got a big leg on him. There's no doubt about that.
Nelly, under center, 10:06 remaining in the ball game. In motion, Sebastian. Pitched left to Sebastian. Sebastian's got some room to the outside. Sebastian's got speed to the outside. First down and more, all the way up to the 35-yard line. Isaiah Sebastian.
Fitch Falcon offense, Casey, you mentioned it earlier in the third quarter. They are running downhill here in the second half. 2 carries for 60 yards for Sebastian.
This is like week 1, only in reverse.
Yeah.
Where Westerly just kept scoring and kept scoring. This is unbelievable. This is completely 2 different halves.
Fitch offensive line wearing out the Waterford defensive front a little bit here in the second half.
This time it's McClish in motion. McClish gets the pitch in the other direction. McClish that time, and a nice play on the interior by Torello, funneling McClish back inside. Positive gain of 3, but that's the shortest gain we've seen on first down in quite some time.
Yeah, McClish, again, you said, doing a good job with his feet, keeping him moving, picking a hole in the cutback lane, and getting positive yardage. The big thing with Fitch here, just don't hurt yourself. No turnovers, no missed snaps, take care of the ball, and just keep moving that offense downfield.
Nelly under center. This time it's Stevens. Handoff up the middle. Hollis Scott. Hollis Scott breaks a tackle. Hollis Scott has a first down over almost to the 45-yard line. First down Falcons. Hollis Scott on the fullback dive.
Outside runs, speed on the outside, softening up the middle of that defense. Hollis Scott doing work, doing what he does best, Casey.
And you can see that Sebastian likes to go to the outside. McClish likes to cut it inside off tackle. And, of course, Scott just likes to bang up the middle. Nelly under center, in motion. Stevens gives it to Scott on the fullback dive. Nothing there that time. Great job by the interior of the Waterford defense that time, shutting off Hollis Scott. No gain, 2nd and 10.
And that's what's going to take here from Waterford to stop this Fitch rushing attack. 5 men committed up front to stopping the run. Line of scrimmage, Casey, the battle of the line of scrimmage is so important here in high school football.
We're going to see when Hamir Stevens is on the wing, that means that Fitch also has that possibility of the option pass, which we saw on the touchdown earlier in the period. In motion, Stevens. He gets the pitch to the left. He cuts it back inside. Hamir Stevens spins, crosses midfield, and gets down to the 48-yard line. He's going to bring up 3rd and short, and this is definitely 2 downs to get 3 yards here for the Falcons.
Yeah, good tough run that time by Stevens, Casey. Turned it upfield, put his head down, got an extra 4 yards. 3rd and 4, like you said, 2 down territory here with just under 8 minutes left to go in the ball game.
Hamir Stevens coming out of the ball game and tapping his shoulder. He is out of the ball game right now. A little shoulder issue for Hamir Stevens. 3rd and 3. Nelly under center. In motion, McClish. Nelly Pitch to McClish. McClish needing a block. Getting to the outside. Has a first down. Down the sideline. McClish is out of bounds, but first down. Falcons at the 30, looks like the 42-yard line. They're going to mark him out. 42-yard line, but first down Falcons.
You know, McClish, Stevens, Sebastian, Scott, and Nelly. This Fitch offense is like a bowling ball going down the alley right now, Casey. Tough to stop these guys.
7:35 remaining in the ball game. Waterford 28, Fitch 20. But unanswered, all of those 20 points, and the Falcons are driving. Nelly under center. In motion, Sebastian. Pitch left to Sebastian. Cuts it inside, but he can't evade the big arms of Nahide Fleming. Haven't called that name in a while, but big stop on first down by Nahide Fleming.
Yeah, Fleming shut it off a double team on the offensive line that time. Put his big bear paw out there and made a big stop.
He swallowed Isaiah Sebastian whole. 7-16, 28-20. Falcons with the football and driving. Ball is marked at the 42-yard line of Waterford. We are in 4-down territory, but more importantly in the moment is that Stevens is out of the game. Hamir Stevens has a shoulder injury that's being attended to right now on the Falcons sideline.
Oh, flag down.
We have a flag on the play. Personal foul, and it's getting a little bit contentious down there. Ooh, contentious.
Contentious, that's a good word.
Thank you, appreciate that. Contentious.
So it's not a timeout. I thought there was a timeout called in the field, but it's a flag. It's got to be a dead ball foul against Waterford.
Waterford has come unglued here in the second half. Dead ball foul against Waterford.
Wow.
And on a 2nd and 10, Fitch is going to get 15 yards and a first down. It's going to take the ball all the way down to the 25-yard line.
Unglued.
Unglued. They were once glued. They are no longer glued. That's unglued.
Wow.
If they were once held together by glue, they are no longer in that state.
That's unglued. Yes, thank you.
Yes.
Wow.
2nd down and 10, and it's now 1st and 10 because of another 15-yard penalty against Waterford. That's got to be the 4th unsportsmanlike penalty against
And I'm looking up at the scoreboard right now. 28-20. That little trick play to go for 2 when they had it at 28-13. Going to come back and haunt them a little bit.
Ball's on the ground. Ball's on the turf. Ball is loose, and the Lancers think they have it, and they do. Turnover. Oh, my. On the ground, and Grandieri comes out with it for the Lancers.
The only thing that stopped the Fitch Falcons so far in the second half is themselves. Big turnover right there. Second turnover of the game for the Fitch Falcons at the worst time, Casey.
But with still 7 minutes remaining in the game, they can get the ball back. Waterford has to get something going here on offense.
Yeah, Waterford's going to find their rhythm again. They're going to find their offensive identity once again.
Craig Cardoza and Anna Bellini. Trips left for the Lancers. Bars in the background. Hoagland from the shotgun. Hoagland on that read option. Hoagland keeps it himself. Hoagland, first down. Hoagland in the open field. Hoagland crosses the 50, looking for a block. Hoagland down to the 35-yard line where he's tackled from behind. There's the big play, Spencer Hoagland.
Yeah, where you been the second half, son? Great job on the read option that time by Spencer Hoagland. Making plays with his feet. Senior quarterback says, I got this, coach. I want to rock.
And doesn't it always figure that when the momentum of a fumble hits, the very next play, you pop off a big one?
9 carries for 158 yards for Spencer Hoagland. It seems like we haven't called his number in an awful long time.
Falcons cannot allow Waterford to score any points right now. 1st and 10, Waterford. Ball at the Falcon 36-yard line. And the officials are talking to the coaches right now, and they're saying that 6:52 on the clock. We'll see. They're going to get that figured out, see what they want right now. The officials want the clock changed to 6:52. No, 6:32.
Mike DeMar out there helping. 6:32.
All right, they want the clock set to 6:32. How's that sound? See if the officials give a thumbs up. Let's see what the officials want down there. He doesn't seem happy about it, though.
I think
He's pointing.
It's still 63.2.
Well,
Yeah, we're the decimals in the wrong spot.
The emphasis is on the wrong syllable. All right, so going to get the scoreboard worked out here to where there's 6 minutes and 32 seconds remaining.
But Spencer Hoagland waking things up with his feet a little bit here on that possession, Casey. We haven't seen a run like that in a long time out of that young man.
Well, you said it, Sports Doctor. He had done all kinds of damage with the read option in the first half, and they went away from the read option. They had him in the shotgun, spreading it out, throwing the ball, and not a lot of read option. That was the first time that he kept it on the read option in a while. And, give him credit. Broken tackle, showed a lot of speed in the open field. And, what we have right now, though, is with Hoagland's weapon as kicker as well, that you cannot allow even 3 points right now.
I think he wants the ball a little bit out there. Senior quarterback. He had some success in the first half. I think he wants the coaching staff to call his number.
Yes, absolutely. I think he wants the ball for sure. But right now, the Falcons down 8 points literally cannot allow any points. Not a field goal, not a safety. They cannot allow. So with the ball at the 36-yard line, Hoagland's almost in field goal range.
Yeah, and that's a tough turnover right there for the Falcons. They had a lot of mojo, in the second half. So tough. Again, these high school teams, they're both very evenly matched, and making plays like that are no good. Killingly right now, 41-12 at the end of the third quarter over Griswold. We'll try to find you some other scores as we're just kind of flipping around here, waiting for an adjustment with the clock.
The Red Sox have a 1-0 lead over Toronto in the bottom of the third inning. The Orioles up 5-1 over the New York Yankees. The Mets have taken a 2-1 lead over the Phillies, and Detroit 4-0 over Atlanta.
Back in business here.
Hoagland from the shotgun. Hoagland fakes the handoff, keeps it himself, straight up the middle, gets about 5 yards. Spencer Hoagland trying to will the Waterford Lancers to a victory now. That will send the clock under 6 minutes when they snap this next play.
Minus 32 yards of offense for the Ledyard Colonels today as they got shut out by Montville, 40-0.
Wow.
Not much you can say about that.
Wow. Well, good win. You know what I will say? Good win for Tanner Grove and the Montville Indians.
Yeah.
That's what I'll say. Under 6 minutes, 28-20. Waterford. Looks like there's going to be Hoagland keeping it straight up the middle. And that, my friends, might be the Kappa. Spencer Hoagland, touchdown, Lancers.
And again, Waterford got away from that read option, but they found Spencer Hoagland's number here down the stretch in the last 6 minutes of this ball game. Last two plays have been all the senior quarterback, Spencer Hoagland.
34-20 Lancers. The Spencer Hoagland show is back underway.
And again, how many times in high school football do we see a team capitalizing off another team's mistake? Fitch has got the ball moving very well. Fumble, turnover, leads the points going the other way for the Lancers.
Hoagland stays in to kick the extra point. Snap is good, hold is good, and Hoagland's kick is true, and that will make the score 35-20. Waterford with 5:36 remaining in the ballgame.
Yeah, Spencer Hoagland has 195 yards rushing and 118 yards passing. He's amassed over 300 yards of total offense tonight for this Waterford Lancer team.
And, you have to ask yourself, what happened in the third quarter?
Well, I think the 217 yards by the Fitch offense keeping the Waterford keeping the Waterford Lancer offense off the field probably had something to do with it. But they went away from the play calling. They went away from the simpleness that got them the big 28-0 lead. And to begin with, and the simpleness is the quarterback.
Yeah, and you got to think Fitch has to key on Hoagland, but they just seem to not be able to do much. He's breaking tackles and very, very quick in the open field. 5:36 remaining. Falcons are going to need to go right down the field and score, and then hope for a little magic.
That could be a dagger right there for this Falcons team.
Falcons will
300 yards of total offense. That's a lot of mojo for number 8 tonight.
Mojica will be back deep for the Falcons, and Hoagland will kick off from his own 40-yard line. Last time we saw Hoagland drive it through the end zone here with a little bit of wind at his back. Mojica stands at his own 5. Hoagland will jog up to the football and let it rip. High driving kick sends Mojica all the way to his goal line, and he will take it out. Crosses the 10. Looking for a block on Romano. Gets it. Looking to get to the outside, and he'll cross the 20-yard line, though he ran about 45 yards to get those 20, and it will be 1st and 10 Falcons at their own 20-yard line.
Yeah, Fitch is in go mode right now, Casey, down by 2 scores with just under 5.5 minutes left to go in this ball game. You would tend to think they're going to need to open this offense up a little bit.
Well, I don't think they have to do a lot because they were ripping huge chunks off running the ball. The question is going to be whether or not they throw the ball at all, or whether they see if they can get down there and score pretty quickly, moving up on the football. First down, Falcons. Ball at the 22-yard line. Nelly under center. Hollis Scott is his fullback. In motion, Stevens. Stevens, pitch left. Stevens gets a block in about 5 yards on first down, and the Falcons are going to have to hurry up and get to this football. They really can't allow much time to come off the clock.
Yeah, time is not on their side, as you would say.
Yeah, I don't think you can afford to take a huddle right now.
No. A little sense of urgency on offense.
It's going to be 2nd and 8 for the Falcons at their own 26. Now the clock's under 5 minutes here. It's a lot of time for the Falcons to be taking off here the clock. Nelly under center. Nelly hands off to Scott. Now he keeps it himself. Nelly cuts up. First down, Falcons. That'll stop the clock. Gets up past the 36-yard line to the 38-yard line. Tyler Nelly that time. Nice job on the read option. Took it out of the stomach of Scott and got a Falcon first down. 38-yard line. 4:40 and counting here in the ball game. Nelly comes up under center now. 4:25 and counting as he gets off this snap. Nelly hands off to Scott. Scott up the middle, gets about 5, gets almost to the 45-yard line. But if the Falcons have to hurry up here, we're going to be under 4 minutes by the time they get the next snap off.
Yeah, all positive plays right now for the Fitch Falcons. But again, the clock is their enemy, and they continue to huddle up and no sense of urgency on the offensive end.
I don't understand. Just get to the huddle and run.
Yeah.
They're running the same play, so. Under 4 minutes now. Nelly under center. In motion, Stevens to the left. Nelly's going to fake. Throws into the flat. Incomplete, and he got hit right when he was throwing. He was trying to get Figueroa across midfield, but he got popped right when he was about to throw the football, and it's going to be 3rd and 5. 3:45 remaining in the ballgame.
Yeah, pressure that time by the Waterford defensive front, Casey, giving Nelly no time to set his feet and look downfield. He had to throw the ball very quickly that time.
You know, you'd think that he would have more time on the play action considering how infrequently they throw, but the Lancers that time, expecting a throw, were in the face of Tyler Nelly.
Yeah, Nelly's only 1 for 5 tonight passing the football.
Nelly under center. Hand off to Scott. Scott's got a first down and more. Crosses midfield. Hollis Scott will have a Falcon first down. They are in Lancer territory now. Clock stops with 3 minutes and 40 seconds remaining while they move the chains.
Yeah, got to go. They're moving the ball, but they got to go. The clock is their enemy right now. They don't understand the huddle.
3 minutes and 30 seconds remaining here as the Falcons come up under the ball. Nelly sends Stevens in motion. Pitch left to Stevens. He's going to throw deep down the sideline, and it's not there. Well covered out there that time. The Lancers, Chris Cantris, all over Figueroa. They saw that one coming.
Not fooling anybody that time on the Waterford defensive end.
And Hamir Stevens comes limping off. He has had a great ball game, but he has gotten beaten up on the last few plays. Shoulder, and now what looks to be a leg injury of some kind. It could be a cramp, could be a twist. We don't know, but we know that he's on the sidelines, and Sebastian is back into the ball game. 3:20 remaining. 2nd and 10 Falcons. Figueroa and Letelier are the split wides. In motion, McClish. Nelly, quarterback keeper, off of the right side. Breaks up inside right tackle and gets about 6 on first down. On second down, it's a good run. It'll bring up 3rd and short, but we're going to be under 3 minutes now.
You know, in that 35-20 right now, I look back to 28-20, and the play of the game was the fumble by the Fitch Falcons. They had a lot of mojo. They were moving the ball downfield, Casey. Turnover. Waterford cashes in.
Nelly with Scott as his lone setback. Nelly going to throw. Straight drop. Time. Now steps up. Nelly's going to have a first down. Crosses the 40. And Nelly wrestled down in the middle of the field at the 35-yard line of Waterford, but he has a first down. Clock stops with 2:41.
Big Kevin Grandieri playing middle linebacker spot that time would not let Nelly go past him. Good gain that time by Nelly.
What was it you were saying, though, about the huddles?
Yeah, I don't know. It's 2.5 minutes left to go in the ball game.
Nelly, under center, 2:30 remaining here. Falcons need a lot. In motion, McClish. McClish takes the pitch. McClish tries to get to the outside, and he does. McClish down the sideline, and McClish out of bounds, close to a Falcon first down. We'll see where he's marked. Looks like about the 35-yard line. He'll be short of a first, but McClish did get out of bounds with 2:20 remaining.
You know, best case scenario right here for the Fitch Falcons. They go in, they score a touchdown, they're down 35-27, and they recover an onside kick. You know, if they've done that in the past, unsuccessful earlier in this ball game. I don't understand the pace of this offense. Right now, you've got to go.
1st and 10, Falcons. In motion, Sebastian. Pitch left to Sebastian. Sebastian tries to cut back inside. Nothing there that time. Great job on the outside by Waterford. Fleming out there with his big arms wrestled him down. And I'll tell you, Isaiah Sebastian's going to have nightmares about Nahide Fleming tonight.
Yeah, he's played a nice ball game. He's a big boy up there. Tough to block him side to side. He's got that big bear paw that makes tackles with. Fleming's a stud up front.
Timeout on the field. The Falcons with 2:12 remaining in the game. 35 for Waterford, 24 Fitch. Check the out-of-town baseball scoreboard. In the top of the 4th inning, the Red Sox still on top of the Blue Jays, 1-0. That's Rick Porcello going for his Cy Young Award-winning 22nd win. Baltimore 8, New York 1. The Red Sox, the Yankees decided they wanted to sweep the Red Sox, honor David Ortiz, and pack it in for the season.
Yeah. Limp into the playoffs, is that what you're trying to say?
Red Sox?
Yeah.
No, not at all. I'm saying the Yankees.
Oh, Yankees.
So
All right.
the Yankees, they said they swept the Red Sox,
Yeah.
honored David Ortiz, and then said we're going to pack it up for the rest of the season.
Rightfully so.
Yeah, they got their thing accomplished. They'll have Baltimore will eat them up. But what's really interesting,
Cost me a breakfast too. That sweep.
Is so the Blue Jays look like they're in, but they got to play the Red Sox. The Red Sox want to finish ahead of Cleveland, even though they're not going to catch Texas.
Right.
Cleveland knows it's not going to finish ahead of Boston, but it's playing Detroit, and Detroit's fighting for the second wild card, 1 game behind the Orioles.
Detroit could play 5 games in
5 days,
3
5
days.
cities. Yep.
Yeah.
And we're going to get a penalty on the play. Looks like a Falcon jumped, and that's going to be 5 yards against the Falcons, which is not what they need at the moment. So, if Detroit were to finish in a tie with Baltimore for the second wild card, they would have to play that second wild card game. However,
that would be at Detroit, would it not?
But if they finished a half game back of it, they'd have to play Cleveland in that rained out game on the wild card day.
Yeah.
Then they'd have to play the second playoff wild card game. Then they'd have to play the wild card game. 3 games, 3 days. In motion, McClish, handoff straight up the middle to Scott. Scott breaks a tackle. Scott down toward the 10-yard line. First down, Falcons, just outside the 10 to the 12-yard line, and they're in business.
Driving run that time by Hollis Scott into a driving rain right now here at Fitch High School. No quit left in Hollis Scott, Casey. Big gain up front for the Fitch Falcons with just under 2 minutes to go in this ball game, and Fitch still going to the huddle.
Fitch is going to need a score. They're going to need to get an onside kick, and they are going to need another touchdown and a 2-point conversion. It's an awful lot to ask, but the Falcons are moving the football. Straight up the middle, another fullback dive. This is going to get about 6 yards on first down, but the time is running out. We're going to get a timeout on the field by Fitch, their second timeout.
Straight keeper that time by quarterback Nelly. He just took upon himself to take it upfield. Kevin Grandieri on the tackle that time for the Waterford Lancers. We have called his name an awful lot tonight. He's played a great game on the defensive side of the ball.
The Falcons now, with only 1:39 remaining in the ball game, have the ball second down, and the ball is at the 9-yard line. Maybe the 7. Let's call it the 7-yard line. 2nd and 5 at the 7. 1:39 remaining in the game. So, if you score here as the Falcons, you going for 2 now, or you kicking the extra point now?
No, I'm kicking the extra point.
Kicking the extra point to get it to an 8-point game.
Yes.
Then recover. You save that 2-point for the very, very end.
I think you have to.
Why don't you're gonna need it at some point? Why don't you get it now? Then if
if I don't get it, I got no shot.
Well, what does it matter when you don't get it?
Well, I'm going to kick the.
Would you
extra
rather
point.
not get it at the very end of the game or not get it earlier in the game?
If I get the ball back, I want to give myself a chance.
Well, Okay.
I mean, you don't understand.
Well, okay, but by that logic, you could miss the extra point as well. Wouldn't you rather get maybe then you could go for 2 again and win the game on the field?
Getting ahead of yourself here.
Yeah. Nelly under center. Nelly gonna throw straight, looking for Letelier in the end zone. It's behind him and incomplete. Ball was tipped at the line. Letelier was open on the post pattern, but tipped at the line of scrimmage.
And Nelly throwing the ball into a heavy, heavy wind.
It's going to be 3rd and 5 now. Ball at the 7-yard line. Falcons in 2-down territory. But if they don't score on this play, they got to get right up to the huddle and run another play here.
Yeah.
As time is slowly turning. 1:35. That time, Letelier had him on the post. He was wide open. Ball got tipped to the line. It was just lucky by that the Waterford defense tipped it, or else that would have been an easy touchdown.
Big 3rd down here for the Falcons.
Letelier wide right. Figueroa goes wide left. Nelly under center. Nelly pitches out to McClish. McClish trying to get to the sideline. McClish is going to throw. Wide open in the end zone is Letelier. Touchdown, Falcons!
We've seen that before tonight, haven't we, Casey O'Neill?
They all sold out on Cleon McClish. Nobody thought he was going to throw the football, and Letelier was wide open in the end zone. Touchdown, Falcons, 35-26. And they're going to kick the extra point.
On cue.
Because they go to the conservative sports doctor school of football.
I think you have to. I think you have to go to the extra point here.
All right, so this is to bring it to an 8-point game. Snap's good, hold down, kick is short. It never had a chance. Never had a chance.
Trouble right there.
See, if you'd gone for 2, you wouldn't have to worry about that.
Oh, you got to
Now the game is...
Casey O'Neill, my partner, all the answers.
Now a 9-point game, and you really have no reason to play at all. Now you need an onside kick, a touchdown, another onside kick.
Yes, you do.
See, if you'd gone for 2 right there,
like
and you had gotten it...
like your reasoning. I still would go for the extra point.
Yeah, but we just showed that that's failed logic. So, that's okay, Square.
I would go, I'd go for 2.
1:29 remaining in the ball game. Falcons had put up 26 points here in the second half, but just short.
485 yards of total offense for the Fitch Falcons tonight.
Well, the Falcons' offense in the second half has been
lights out,
unbelievable. They have outscored Waterford 26-7, but that 7 was the deciding touchdown by Spencer Hoagland, which was probably the touchdown that they needed to get this thing and put it out of reach. Right now, Waterford is an onside kick recovery away from winning this football game.
I will head down to the field, I guess, Casey, and we'll try to get there with the winning coach, with Coach Strecker, or Coach Ellis. Been a wild ball game. Definitely a tale of 2 halves.
Yeah, we're going to get you down there. I think Coach Strecker, I'd love to hear you ask him what happened in the third quarter of this game.
Yeah, and I'm going to.
What and what was the difference in the 2 halves? I mean, holding on for dear life in the second half.
Yeah.
So the hands team on the field for the Lancers right now. The Falcons come up quickly to the ball. A little onside kick, and it's loose. I think Waterford was able to recover it. We got a flag on the play, so who the heck knows what that's all about. The Falcons say they recovered it, but Waterford says they have it. Let's see what the officials have to say. They're the only ones that matter. Officials are discussing it. Waterford's cheering. The Falcons are looking around. The officials are discussing it. 1:27 remaining. There's people on the field. Falcons are incredulous. The officials telling us that, in fact, the flag is for unsportsmanlike conduct against Fitch, and the Falcons will have to give the ball over. The Lancers will have the ball, and the Lancers will be able to run the clock out. The Falcons have, I believe, only 1 timeout remaining. But with 1:27 remaining in the ball game, a Waterford High School lead 35-26 in what has been a wacky second half here. Waterford, after taking a 28-0 lead in the ball game, had to hold on for dear life in the second half as the Falcons ran off 20 unanswered points. A late Spencer Hoagland touchdown for Waterford seemed to put the game out of reach, but the Falcons went right down the field and scored, but they missed the extra point, and then an onside kick was recovered by Waterford, and with 1:27 remaining, Waterford will have an opportunity to run out the clock. However, Waterford is in an offensive set. They have Hoagland in the shotgun. Now Hoagland's going to come up under center. He's going to take the snap and just push forward. And get about a yard, and the Falcons, I believe, will be able to stop the clock maybe one more time. Officials blow it off, and I believe that will be the last timeout for the Falcons with 1:20 remaining here in the ballgame. You're listening to Game Day live on theday.com. Casey O'Neill, the sports doctor, heading down to the field to talk to the winning head coach. If things stay like it is right now, we'll be talking to Coach John Strecker of Waterford. Next week, join us on Friday Night Football as we'll be in Montville, where the Montville Indians, fresh off of their shutout victory over Ledyard tonight, will be taking on the undefeated New London High School Whalers. Coach Juan Roman, in a bye week this week, head into a very good Montville defense. Montville, of course, will be flying high after that big shutout of Ledyard tonight. New London off the bye in what should be a very good ball game. Join us next week. Montville hosting the New London High School Whalers. Tonight, it is the Waterford High School Lancers with a 35-26 lead over the Falcons. 1:20 remaining in the ball game, and Waterford should be able to run out the clock by taking a knee. Tonight was Spencer Hoagland night here at Fitch High School, the senior quarterback of the Lancers, doing it all. Over almost 200 yards rushing, over 100 yards passing, 4 touchdowns, and just a absolutely stellar effort. He had 5 extra points, some unbelievable punts. Spencer Hoagland did it all. Hoagland trying to draw the Falcons off sides, and I think, and I'm not exactly sure why we're doing that, but it's going to be a legal procedure against Waterford. That'll back them up 5 yards. It'll bring up 2nd and 13, ball at the 40-yard line of the Falcons. 1:20 remaining here in the ball game. The rain seems to have subsided some. It's misting, blowing side to side. The wind, however, is still whipping across the field. Hoagland, with an I formation, will put his head down and fall forward on 3rd and 12 and push the pile forward. And if Hoagland's not careful, he's going to cross the 200-yard mark in rushing for this game, as that's a gain of 6. Ball is now marked up to the 35-yard line of the Falcons, and we're going to be under a minute to play here. 3rd and 8 for Waterford, under a minute to go. That is, he does in fact cross it, 202 yards rushing. So Spencer Hoagland tonight, 202 yards rushing, over 100 yards passing, 4 touchdowns, 5 extra points, a punt average of over 40 yards. What could the kid have to do? Spencer Hoagland, I get you go to bed early tonight is what I would do. I'm tired thinking about it. I'm tired talking about it. 28 seconds remaining here. Maybe one more play. Hoagland can take a knee. Waterford in a version of their victory formation. Hoagland will take a knee, and that will do it. The players shaking hands on the field. And as time ticks away, your final score from Dorr Field on the campus of Fitch High School, the Waterford High School Lancers remain undefeated at 3-0. And they have defeated the Fitch Falcons 35-26 in a wacky, wild, and thrilling game. The sports doctor Keith O'Brien is down on the field, and we're going to see about him getting Waterford coach John Strecker after they shake hands on the center of the field. We're take a look for the sports doctor waiting patiently. The stat guru totaling up some of the numbers on Spencer Hoagland. Over 200 yards rushing, over 100 yards passing, 4 touchdowns, 5 extra points, and a partridge in a pear tree for Spencer Hoagland tonight, doing it all. For the Falcons, a disappointing loss, dropping them to 1-3. They're going to have to right the ship. Waterford goes to 3-0, something the Lancers are not accustomed to. Undefeated here in the early season, and outside of the third quarter, a very, very good football game for Waterford. However, the third quarter has to frighten you if you are the Waterford Lancers. The third quarter of this game, the Waterford offense fell asleep. The Waterford defense was on its heels. The Fitch Falcons did everything they wanted to in the third period, and on the fourth period as well. So if you're the Waterford Lancers, a lot to go to work on tonight, but you got to be happy with a big victory. The sports doctor down on the sidelines, and he is with Coach John Strecker.
Okay. Coach John Strecker, big win for you guys coming in here on the road. 3-0. How's that sound?
Oh, it sounds great. Couldn't ask for a better start. Kids played hard again from whistle to whistle. Can't ask for more than that.
You guys jumped out to a 28-0 lead. Then something happened in the second half. You seemed to get away from what made you successful a little bit. First of all, how did you lose it, and then how did you get it back?
Well, your play calling is completely different when you're up by 4 touchdowns than when you're down by 4 touchdowns. So you try to run the ball, you try to run the clock out. Mike knows that. He stacks the box. It's just a game you play, you know.
Your senior quarterback tonight, over 300 yards of total offense, and not to mention the field position, with his foot, with punts, 48-yarders, 50-yarders. Talk about Spencer Hoagland for a minute.
We just hopped on Spencer's back tonight. He finished it off for us. I mean, he carried us right to the end. He's what we had in the second half. Yeah.
3-0, and you're going to enjoy this one for a little bit and then back to work?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we got next week off. So we'll polish some stuff up, and then we'll get back after it.
All right, go celebrate with your team. Great job, Coach. Coach John Strecker, Waterford High School, Casey, and what a tale of 2 different halves. I guess the play calling got a little conservative, kind of bit them in the foot a little bit. They came back and rebounded very well. And what can you say about Spencer Hoagland, one of those special kids? Casey, Waterford Lancers, 3-0, baby. Who called that? The sports doctor. That's who.
Well, unbelievable, sports doctor. You got one right, and it's one big one. 3-0 for Waterford. Hard to believe that's where they are, but a wacky and wild game here tonight at Fitch High School. But the Waterford Lancers finish off a 35-26 victory over the Falcons. Next week, you can join us on Friday Night Football on Game Day, where we will be at Montville High School, where the Montville High School Indians, fresh off their shutout of Ledyard High School tonight, will take on the undefeated New London High School Whalers. Join us, as always, on Tuesday for Wired Zone on theday.com, on Facebook at Game Day Connecticut Sports. For the sports doctor, Keith O'Brien, Stat Guru 2.0, Mike DeMoro, Peter Wappy, the entire crew, and the junior voice of Game Day, I am the voice of Game Day. I'm Casey O'Neill. Thank you, folks, for everybody. See you next week.